Okay, hello and welcome to 20-Sided Stories. Welcome back. We are again here and ready to roll with our next installment of Curse of Strahd. I'll be doing a little bit of a supplemented / outsourced recap with the team. I might fill in any major points if there are any that I want to make sure we hit. But yeah, take it away, guys. Again, I'm Nicholas. We've got Michael here playing Darian. We've got Sarah playing Nora. I almost said Astra. That's the other campaign. We've got Megan playing Mary Lou. We've got Kat playing Jennifer, and we've got Brandon playing Claudette. It's the standard battle cry for opening in our games. Music's a little loud. Okay. So we're going to be jumping right into it. As we rearrange our beautiful bounty of snacks, we've got a hero's feast that we've cast just beyond the borders of the map. So go ahead and enjoy that. And speaking of maps, we've got a little map overlay. So this is the land of Barovia. For those of you at home, this is where we're traveling through, and are just heading from the sort of eastern side, the village of Barovia there, all the way to the Sayre Pool, which is where we left off. So with that, go ahead, team. Let us hear what the recap was while you're all chewing. I'm doing the classic waiter thing.
We delivered packages.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So, this lovely lady, Jennifer, used magic in Bildraff's Mercantile, and Bildraff was like, no, and kicked her out.
Yeah.
But his much nicer nephew, Periwinkle, followed her out and was like, hey, can you do me a favor? And she was like, But then she was like, sure. And it was delivering different baskets to homes in need, people who in Barovia who are doing badly, which is also known as just people in Barovia.
Just existing.
Yeah, just existing. So one was for the church, the nice churchman, and that the party figured out was Donovich, the priest whose vampire son we helped him contain a bit ago. And that just contained supplies to help keep him contained, a shovel to dig graves. One was for the crying lady. The party figured out that was Mad Mary, who has been sobbing all over town. Relatable.
Do you want to talk?
Anyway.
I'm booking everyone therapy sessions after this campaign.
We'll need it.
Yeah.
I need it most of all.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So anyway, Mad Mary basically been crying all over town because her daughter has gone missing, and it was just food, stuff for her to bathe herself because she's a little smelly, because she has not been taking care of herself, and a book on self-rescuing princesses. And then there was one for the candle house, which the party didn't know what that was. It contained candles. This is a shocking plot twist along with some other supplies. So the party's like, cool, let's split up and deliver things. Claude and Darian went to to the nice churchman's, delivered him stuff. Figured it's probably safe to give him a shovel. He's a priest, he digs graves. We're a little doubtful about that. Nora went to Mad Mary's and was like, hey, your daughter's gonna be okay. And Mad Mary goes, ugh. And then Jennifer and Mary Lou went to the candle house. They found it was a house lit entirely by candles. A teenage girl opened the door, Serenia, I believe. And we were like, hey, why is this house so lit with candles? And she was like, you know that pie lady? And Mary Lou was like, oh no. They discovered, turns out, when strange people in Barovia offer you food, just say no.
Yeah, Mary Lou definitely got to get a little bit more of an insight onto what she enjoyed there.
Yep.
As we left Barovia, the team moved forward to the crossroads, and they were seeking Madam Eva as a broad priority.
Yep.
What all did we have there?
We had a fun experience with the shade, and that Mary Lou had a particular attachment to. Maybe we'll find out more about that.
Maybe, maybe not. It was a very familiar figure, and that is what the DM gave everyone to avoid spoiling backstory. But she was like, no, familiar figure who the team doesn't know about, don't be hanging from a noose, and tried to cut her down, and
It was only you that saw her.
Only-
Everyone else
Yeah,
saw
everyone
her.
else saw just a lanky, long individual who appeared to be perhaps an old executioner or hangman himself. Upon defeating the Shade with some clever use of Darian's wind magic, aka flopping a fan very hard, team defeated him and got yet another card. This one, the Executioner, as very fitting, another fate card. Even furthering their interest about what they might find there at Madam Eva's place. With a little bit of debating, they headed on down to Madam Eva's and launched they were met with some pretty welcoming Vistani. A lovely campfire side situation with wagons and tents as seen here on the map before us. Team was also quickly ushered into Madam Eva's tent and met Madam Eva. They had multiple experiences with her, both personal readings that were lovely riddles that I'm sure Kat appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
A resident riddle lover, and as well as for the rest of the members of the team, and also a joined reading for all of you, hinting at information regarding the team's fate here in Barovia, both on a personal level and on a group level, but also some information and hints dropped about treasures, allies, and individuals that might be uncovered along the way. That is where we left off. I'm going to make one...
Just a question about time,
Mhm.
because we were obviously Darian's foot is still a subplot to this
Yes.
adventure.
Very important.
Very important subplot.
So how far along are we in the day? Since I think we left pretty early.
Yeah, it's about... you guys left
We still have more travel
just around
days.
noon,
Okay.
and it's about 6 p.m. now. Dusk is
It
approaching.
took us about 6 hours to get to this point in the map.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
With also, that's at the end of the conversations with Madam Eva,
Mm-hmm.
also the conversations and sort of investigation around the graves near the
Yeah, we had the shade.
gallows and the shade, all of that kind of included in that timeline.
Okay.
So it took a little bit for the team to get going, but was able to do that, and now we're approaching sort of the dusk time. So the team is sort of faced with a bit of a quandary. They can either press on, knowing that there's, if their map is accurate, about 40 miles or so more to go of travel to their destination of Vallaki, where they're hoping to find safety and refuge for Irina Kolyana, who they are traveling with, and who the devil, Strahd, seems to have taken a rather unwholesome interest in. Or they can choose to, instead of traveling on, rest here for the night, enjoying wine, warm fire, and friendly company to boot. Maybe some stories as well. So, faced with this quandary, I'm going to really quickly just put us on mute 1 second. Alright, back to that. This is where we left off, with the dusk edging out the day into sort of a dreary evening. Not a lot of sunset beauty to be cast upon the dappling dark water. And therefore, the team exits Madam Eva's tent and is still bombarded by the sounds of drinking and joy-making, music of sad and happy varieties, as the various members of the Vistani around the campfire, led by Cesarina, seem to be engaging in a little bit of swapping tales. And they see you guys emerge, and immediately Cesarina says, "Come, join us! Join us! We are swapping tales. You are our guests here in Barovia. We do not get many outsiders like yourselves. Feel free to enjoy and have a warm welcome, a warm bed for the night even if you wish. All on our gracious hostingness. If you have tales to swap, we appreciate that even more." And of course, something of a request from us? We were just in the middle of a thrilling tale ourselves, so come if you wish. If you need a privy, it is over that way. If you are a little bit feeling backed up, no worries.
So everyone's pretty well full health, right? We didn't take much damage from the shade.
No, we didn't.
No.
All good. So Darian's sort of antsy still, because he's like, okay, I want to get to Kretz to try and find a priest who can help his foot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to sort of start whispering to the group and saying, like, we should go, like, we came to Madam Eva, let's keep going.
Are you crazy? It's like the sun's about to set, which is still weird, but there's no way we're making 40 miles before the sun sets, and we're not. It's better to sleep in company. I mean, with protection, I should say.
What you do is your business.
Okay, not what I meant. But it's, just sleeping by a fire.
We've only been traveling 6 hours.
Yeah.
We can go further. Come on, we're
got
seasoned adventurers.
Like 4.
This is like the Sunday special of of traveling. We're gonna travel 4 to 6 hours and then call it quits.
I mean, you could see if they have like wood carvers among it to make you like a nice peg leg.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just for at least a little while.
Darian, your foot's rotten. Jennifer's very drunk.
Yes, this I have noticed as well. It is a little ripe.
I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to let it go.
No,
Sometimes you just have to say goodbye.
okay.
It's my foot. And
We'll
it's
get
in
you.
his bag at this point. So he's like, no, he's like touching the part.
You
of
hear
his
a little,
bag
like,
that has-
As you
It's
shift
Oh my
the
goodness.
At least
squelching
take
noise of you.
the flesh off for the God's sake. Have a cool skeleton
He's
foot.
not parting with his foot. Thank you.
A cool skeleton foot.
A little late for that one, laddie.
Oh, a man of a 1 foot! I'm sure there's a story to be told here. Come, tell it. Enjoy it. We have a good. We love outsiders. We love travelers with tales. And let us be real. The darkness is approaching, and you do not want to be on the road. Enjoy some wine, some food, some rest. Such travelers weary as yourselves, I am sure, would appreciate it.
Cladu, can you do anything to help my foot? I think
no.
didn't you say you had a spell that would stop?
Okay, 2 things. First, we're past that point with your foot lad. Sorry. But also, no. We've been adventuring all darn day. After fighting wolves and vampire boys and other weird things. I have no spells left.
So
No energy
he's
left.
getting visibly like upset, like obviously not wanting to lose this emotional connection to his foot.
It's okay, lad. The first step is denial. You gotta get past it.
He's sort of like,
You said step.
It,
God damn it.
This is going to be a long road. We have still to go to Vallaki, and then onward if you wish to Kretsk. I am hoping that I can stay in Vallaki, but perhaps the. Did you say you were a dwarf? I have not met many dwarves.
Hey, I'm one of the mountain folk.
Right, well, as our dwarf friend Cladu is mentioning, perhaps it is best that we stay here. I am a little wary of these folk as well, and certainly I wish to find safety in civilization, but this is as civilized as we are going to get at the current day, and even pressing on will not help any further with that.
See?
so Darian's like, he's not convinced.
It's okay, lad. I'll walk you through it.
No. One of the guys mentioned.
For those of you playing the drinking game at home, take a shot every time a foot pun is mentioned.
You're gonna get wasted.
One of the guys made a mention of it in something last time that they might be able to help me with the peg leg. I think that we had the slight conversation before going into Madam Eva. Is there somebody here who said something like that, or I
Yes.
can go talk with? So
Believe
Darian's
so.
like gonna start talking to different people and seeing if there's somebody who could help with making a peg leg or craft or something.
Oh, a peg leg. We need a peg leg. Vigo, Otto, come on. Surely you can do. Put your backs into it and get something going. They like to whittle in their time, and of course are happy to comply. I'm sure we have some spare firewood, and she's kind of like elbowing them a little bit, and they're like, "What? Me? Right, okay. All right. And they're kind of like slapping themselves out of their wine drunkenness. Takes a big swig from a wineskin and sets it down. All right. And he kind of picks up a little, like a wood-cutting hatchet and shoulders it. Let's get this over with. And he kind of gets over to the wood-cutting stump. And in due time is able to cut away some big pieces of firewood into a more appropriate shape. And he says, well, if you... It's not much now. Might be a bit painful to just wrap it all up together. But if you wait till morning, I can probably fix you something a little nicer. Maybe a cup or brace to go with.
So Darian has a bolt, a full bolt, I think, of black cloth. So he's going to pull that out and sort of take that and try and use that and work with this guy, Otto?
Yeah, Otto and Vigo.
Okay, he'll work with Otto and Vigo to try and fashion that into something more passable and to hopefully use the bolt of cloth to make it padded.
Okay. Yeah. Vigo's like,
So it's not just a stick.
I can hollow out a little bit of a bottom of a keg maybe, or something around, I'm sure, and pad it together. Come over to this way and we'll sort it out.
So that's what Darian's doing.
So the three of them kind of go off to one side, and it's a slow process considering their inebriation, but they're beginning to fashion something of that sort in a decent fashion. And Cesarina is like, oh, well, as long as that is getting taken care of, and he who wishes to be on the road most is now distracted, perhaps we can enjoy a good flask of wine, a good tale. Perhaps we should start. I am happy to continue with the tale that I was telling. If you would like, we can start from a little bit of a recap, if that is your preference.
Yeah, tell a story.
Well, I suppose we can stay for a story. Are you all okay with staying?
I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should camp overnight.
I hope you're enjoying those rations, Nora.
Finally being chased by wolves.
Certainly, that must be true. And then she sort of sits, Irina goes and sits sort of a little bit farther away to the fire, kind of almost with her back a little closer to Madam Eva's tent, but in a way that allows her to kind of get a good view of most things. And Cesarina says, "Oh, come, sit, enjoy some purple grape mash number 3,
My fave.
or even, of course, the superior dragon wine, dragon crush wine as well."
Oh, I'll try that.
So it's clearly a better wine, less watery, and much better in every way.
Excellent.
Well, as we were saying, as I was just saying, sit and listen, for I have a tale to tell. A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing. A very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. The battle flew from the courtyard of Ravenloft to the precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes. Thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard, yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck him, and yet again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic could not save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death over the edge of the precipice. After some time, and it was, a little safer, I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body to see if, he had anything of value. Such a traveling man certainly did, but the river Evelys had already spirited him away. Who is to say what became of his body? Who is to say what might come of another revolt? But this is for certain. None have yet passed and survived against the devil Strahd. Some say that none will. Yet others say that fate is turning, and the days Barovia's misery may come to an end. And someone else just starts squawking. To an end? Nah. And takes a big drink. So, your turn. Is there another story that you would like to tell? Anything that you'd like me to regale? I am happy to be a gracious host. If you'd like to turn in, that is alright. I hope our music doesn't keep you awake.
Well, this one time, I was in a bar fight, and this guy, he was just, like, trying to fight me, and I'm like, dude, this is a bar fight. But I managed to, like, just get him in a headlock and just, like, straight up tossed him on his ass outside of the bar.
Wow, quite a impressive moment. I'm certain that you find work in many bars who are in need of disposing irksome customers. It's quite an impressive thing, though I do not doubt its veracity given your impressive physique.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, and no food for me, thanks. I've got this weird magic berry, and she'll pop her good berry in her mouth.
Oh, magic berries. I knew a story about a man who ate magic berries, and one day he turned into a shrub. Quite an interesting tale, but not one for tonight, I'm sure. Perhaps some regalement of, as you tell your own history, is there another history that wishes to be shared? Some own history of Barovia for strangers to hear from? What is that there can be known about you? We are all so curious to hear what there has to be said of all these strange travelers from different lands, distant folk of strange mountains, bold men of forests and peg legs.
So Darian speaks up and he says, I have a tale of Darian the Windmill Lord, newest of Barovia's name, of how I lost my leg to a ghoulish baby.
A ghoulish baby,
and
did you
hope to regain it.
That sounds like the beginnings of an interesting tale, or perhaps one that is awaiting a more careful sequel. But in any case, there is certainly to be said something about a man finding his destiny and forging it for himself. But in the name of windmills, I would say that there are certain windmills here in Barovia that ought best to be avoided. Some say that a few small folk, a few children have gone missing here and there in the mill
Jenna
in
Fells
Barovia.
elbowing really. I bet you that's where they made your pies. I bet you it's the same windmill.
Given Mary Lou's not drunk, she immediately realizes the implications. Oh, damn.
So, I don't think we're talking about the same windmill, of course. I would never have one that... I would never preside over a windmill that is connected to children and their slaughter.
Oh, I did not know about
where are you
slaughter.
talking about?
I did not know about slaughter per se. Just rumors. You see, we travel so much. There's no certainty in many of these words, but it is worth passing along. As for yourself, I did not know that you were the proud owner of a windmill. Certainly, this is news to my ear.
I am indeed, and he pulls out the windmill longsword, which he has.
Oh, quite
And
an
he shows
impressive
it-
thing, yes. That does seem to be ones that belonged to an old family here. I forget their name, though. It has been a long time since their mill has been... Well, I suppose, who's to say?
What do you know about their windmill? What do you know about the family?
Well, I do not... It was before my time when they fell on hard times, or perhaps it was not. Who's to say? In any case, there is certainly an element of... rumor about the mill, a rumor mill, if you will. And in any case, it is a circumstance that is concerning. I do not know specifics, only that travelers say of darkness there. It is a place that ravens frequent as well.
Do you know where this mill is?
Yes, of course. It is the mill on the way to Vallaki, some hills beyond, before its way, in fact, on the old Spallet Road. You will find it.
So Darian pulls out his map. It looks like there is a little windmill on that. Is that? And he's going to point to it and ask them, "Is that what you're referring to?"
Yeah, so on the map there is a section, if you are looking at Lake Zarovich and Vallaki, Here, I'll go to the map.
So I'll show the team
Thing
too,
here.
because
So
I
let's
have
go
it
to
up here.
Map. If you're looking on Lake Zarevich,
Vallaki, and there's
and
the windmill here.
Vallaki, there's sort of, if you just go down from where the word Zarevich is, there's a windmill with a little bit of an offshoot from the road there
Way down here.
that is marked. And it is marked on the map. So, Cesarina says, yes, that is the one, but I have not been there by myself for many years. And who knows, it could have changed ownership. I mean, let us be real, the rumors, they turn and turn as fate's wheel does as well.
I have a question for you. So you say you traveled a lot. I haven't traveled as much, but are there a lot of places where the sun does this? It should sort of,
Where the sun does what?
You know,
there's not much sun in Barovia, but I'm not sure what you're getting at.
you know, where it's like light some of the time, dark some of the time, not just like light all the time or dark all the time?
I am not sure what you're saying, but yes, it is sometimes light and sometimes dark, perhaps.
That's
You
so
might
weird.
Ease up on the wine. It seems to be affecting your judgment.
I haven't had any, just where I'm from, you know, near Solney, you know, which is not,
I do not know of this Sony.
you know, the
You know about
continent of
Solney?
Sanctus?
You said you were a traveler?
Oh,
You
but
know
of
about
course.
Solney?
No, I do not. I do not know of this Sanctus either.
We came.
It sounds like a
from it.
province or a land.
Continent, like,
Actually, point of order: the continent is called Lemuria.
okay. You know, you have heard of Lemuria?
I cannot say I have. Perhaps a.
I'm not.
Maybe they call it something different.
Maybe.
So Darian sort of perks up at this, and he's sort of like, "Are you sure you want to stay here?" Whoever's closest to him, he's gonna. I don't know who's closest to him.
Irina's
Jennifer?
closest to you.
Irina.
Irina
So he's
leans
gonna go
over.
to Irina and say, "Are you sure you want to spend the night with these people who haven't heard anything about the land we're in?"
I have not heard of this Lemuria either. Where are you from? Lemuria? Is this a local province? I was
I need the bigger map now. Where was I from?
well versed of. I was well versed from. Much Father made sure that we knew the land of Barovia and its surrounding environs, but the mists now enclose us all. Our borders are terrible mists. They say that only the Vistani here, like our friends here at the fire, can traverse in and out. But it is strange that they have not traveled to Lemuria either.
They're just looking around. I'm not. I didn't hit my head before we came here. We were in Lemuria, right?
Yeah, I think.
Probably.
Maybe.
So, so just DM question.
Mhm.
How much of the surrounding world can we see? Like, there are big mountains on the big map. Can we see any of that through the mist, or is that like completely blocked off?
And at the moment, it's pretty misty and pretty dark.
Uh-huh.
So you definitely cannot see the mountains and stuff like that in the distance. And as you guys are spending time around the fire and the last 20 minutes, night has pretty much started to fall.
Okay.
And so it's not to say that you maybe
So
couldn't on a clearer time.
Can we start asking them like questions about the surrounding? So I'm bringing up the other map here. I would like to ask them questions about like the surrounding cities and things to see if they know of them.
Okay. So what are you asking about?
So we went through, just to be clear, we went through the damp wood eld
Mhm.
over by Alluru. That was where we went.
Mhm.
So can we ask them about, like, do they know of Lunadis or Yukoni, or do they know about the Sancturian Barrier mountain range? Do they know of, like, Sunbranch Forest, the other surrounding things that we would expect to be around the area?
Well, it sounds that you are a well-traveled man from far distant land, but I have never stepped foot around any of these places myself. Perhaps others have. I have heard of those who might have traveled to different lands. I remember once long ago, Stanimir, I believe you met and mentioned him before. May the bugs and maggots eat out his eyes. He mentioned of a sun-drenched land of eternal sunlight. Perhaps this is what he was referring to?
Sounds about right.
It sounds similar, but I have not traveled there myself, and nor have any Vistani that I have met. Certainly not in this encampment. I cannot speak for all Vistani, of course. We are one family here in this wagon space, and I never knew my parents, but we are always around family here. And she kind of raises her wineskin, and the rest say, "Here, here," you know. And Irina says, "I never knew my parents either, but I am glad that you found a family, or were found by one, perhaps, just as I was."
So can we tell if they are, if they appear to be like well traveled, and ask them more questions about like where have they been, or does it appear like they've never heard of the things that are like directly?
Well, if you have a question, you can ask it in character, but otherwise you can make an insight check if you think that they're maybe being deceptive, or you're trying to get a sense for how
so I guess my
honest.
sense, this is me sort of working it out vocally, but my sense is that they're not. It's not that they're not being honest, but I'm trying to understand if they are even aware that these things exist outside around them, because we would expect them to have some connection with them, or if it feels like they are under a spell or like a warp bubble, like they're essentially isolated from the rest of the world completely.
Well, I'm not sure that you'd be able to tell if they knew they were in a warp bubble, isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But what I would say is go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. It was good. Now it's not. Looks like an 8.
They seem like well-traveled folk.
Okay, so they seem like they should have a knowledge of the.
They seem
the
like well-traveled folk.
area. Well,
I should mention, though, that our particular troop, well, we like to travel to and fro in Barovia, but mostly we stay here at Serpool with Madam Eva. She is our matron and blessed with the strongest of our bloodline's powers. They say the ancient gods before Strahd himself of the land of Barovia blessed our line with capabilities of foresight and curses.
Speaking of your line, seems to be some strong feelings about Stemamir. Stenomir?
Oh, Stenomir, yes! Let the mice chew out his beard.
Well, what did he do?
Ah, a sad tale. He was ousted from our troop for murdering his wife.
Oh.
She was making merry with another man, and he caught them. In a terrible rage, he destroyed her and the man alike. But it is a terrible crime for Vistani to kill one another. It is the most reprehensible deed of our people. And so he was forever banished by Madam Eva herself, prevented from ever traversing through the gates of Barovia once more. Still, he holds the Vistani tradition to heart and does Madam Eva's bidding when she requests it. Perhaps that is how he found you?
What does the true... Does anyone, having heard the stories of Strahd, heard anything about what the magician did to fight Strahd, or any effective tools that we might ward ourselves with or arm ourselves with in case we come across him?
Well, I do not suggest that you try the devil's wrath. Such as you are, you will fall. For the great wizard was far more powerful than all of you combined, and yet he still fell. As for what might be used or useful, well, I have not myself been a vampire slayer, but they say that the legendary Rudolf van Richten was a vampire slayer of great skill and has traveled here to and fro Barovia. He is a man of great legend and mystery. The monsters himself fear him. One does not know how he will fare against Strahd, or if he even is still real, was ever real in the first place. But certainly the tales tell of him vanquishing vampires, werewolves, and other creatures of the night.
Rudolf von
Van Richten.
At this, Nora's gonna kind of come back out of the shadows and kind of like, her interest is definitely piqued.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna ask, have you ever met this Van Richten?
No, not myself. He was a man of Barovia some long years ago and traveled to and fro. But I myself never met him, and he has not been seen in many years, supposedly. Some say the devil caught up to him and vanquished him, or turned him, or keeps him horribly alive in endless torment.
Do you happen to have?
Who
any-
wants more wine? Oh, of course, a good lady's taste.
You're gonna make one heck of a con save in the morning.
Oh my god.
That's how people talk about hangovers in D&D. Oh, this is gonna be a con save in the morning. I can feel it.
Jennifer, yeah, I mean, I respect drunkenness. At some point, I am gonna have to cut you off. I'm a certified barmaid, after all.
Probably right.
Snubmere, kicked out for killing his spouse.
He seems like such a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
Didn't really see it coming.
You do remember that a few of
Who
you
it
snuck
was,
up to
yeah.
his tent and heard some sad weeping and saw a dancing woman in the flames of his tent. So perhaps those of you who did experience that recall that
Makes-
in
that makes
association
sense.
with his experiences. In any case, Cesarina says, well, if there's any further questions, queries for outsiders that you wish to answer, let us know. But in any case, feel free to turn in for the night. We have reserved a tent for you and your folk if you wish to stay out of doors.
Thank you. So Darian will eat his good berry for his ration.
Mhm.
He'll give Irina his. I don't know. I think he still had two. The extra one because she needed an
Okay,
extra
she
one.
eats it.
And he'll recast good berry because he didn't use any first level spells.
Oh,
before
a
going to
magic
sleep.
trick yourself! Perhaps this is why
Yeah,
you
invite
ask of
them
the
out
mage.
to the team.
Of course. Well, you probably don't have enough to give to all of Astani, but
we get 10, right?
to give to all of Astani, you probably have enough to give to the party.
for the party. Yeah.
Oh, you know magic as well. Perhaps this is why you ask of the mage. But suffice to say, the magics he knew and used were not sufficient to defeat Strahd. Certainly, as my tale implies, and as what I saw with my own eyes, Strahd can use magic himself, and the mage's defense is held, but not against his physical ferocity.
I've heard that garlic can be particularly useful. Do you happen to have any?
Certainly we have garlic in one of the wagons, but I have not heard this tale.
I'll
It
trade
is
you
said that vampires do not love the sunlight, but perhaps that is why the land is so forsaken of its light.
So I'll trade. Darian will offer good berries for garlic. If any of the if any of them want to trade for garlic.
Okay. Sure, of course, we can no need to trade. We have our own lovely food, more than berries. Go, we'll grab you a little bit of garlic, and, she kind of gestures, and Otto, who's kind of wavering drunkenly with your finished peg leg around,
Okay.
goes
Piece
into
of
the
garlic.
camp and grabs a clove of garlic.
Perfect.
A clove of garlic.
A head of garlic, a tiny little clove. A head of garlic, I think is
A
right.
singular
A
close.
singular clove. Yeah, a head of garlic is what I meant. Thank
Food
you.
is tough to find in Barovia.
I have also heard that strong, rushing, running water is a problem for vampires, but I am sure that this mage did not apply such things. In fact, he was victim to the running waters himself.
Good to know.
Is your plan, Darian, to just eat all the garlic and then your breath will be so bad?
Exactly. Well, my plan is to use every single tale and myth that I can possibly use to get any advantage.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You could just hit him with an axe a bunch of times.
Classic.
Well, if there's
Let's turn in. Yeah.
if you are wanting to turn in, feel free. For those who are of more interest in swapping stories, more wine, then feel free to do that as well.
They have horses.
Yes, they have several horses that are picketed. They also have several carts and wagons that
How
they are.
How many
that
horses do they have?
They have 5 horses, in addition to those that seem to be
Work
used
horses.
for the
Okay.
wagons. Oh, sorry, 5 horses, including the ones for the wagons. 2 horses extra.
Do they all appear to be work like field horses? Do any of them appear to be war horses? Do any of them appear to be
Make a general intelligence check, or general wisdom check. Those are more like worldliness.
10.
They all seem like work horses to you,
No more
but
war
you're not a
horses.
horseman.
Okay, great.
Those Vistani war horses, no?
I know.
Oh yes, the Vistani warhorse that can ride
Legendary.
all day all night. Legendary tales exist of it. Some say that it can rival even Van Richten himself in defeating vampires and other
It
monsters.
sustains itself on tales and and short stories.
Exactly,
Alright.
you've heard this one as
I've
well.
heard this one. I think I've heard this one.
I'm terminated for the night.
Alright, so we go to bed.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you want
Um,
to do a watch? Normal watch?
Irina says, yes, I think we should, just in case.
So
You
what
never
we're-
know. You never know who might be watching. And she kind of looks around paranoidly.
What was our normal watch formation?
It's been so long.
I will
Yes.
take first.
Okay. So Darian will go with Irina. Take first watch.
Who wants to take second with me?
I mean, I can't. That's fine. My eyes are pretty great. So if I need to be alone, I'll still probably do fine.
I mean, but muscles together.
I like it. We can do some arm wrestling. See how that goes.
Bonding.
Oh, God.
That was so bad.
I will say Jennifer's probably too intoxicated to assist with the watch.
That's what I was gonna
So
think.
Nora, you're probably on your own for the last one.
That's fine.
Alright, first watch. Go ahead and roll perception there, Darian. Go and roll with advantage because Irina's assisting you.
I think the highest I got was a 8.
Oh boy.
Well, the two of you are perhaps mesmerized by the rather stark contrast of the joyous partying people, or maybe you're reeling of the riddle words that are still resounding in your mind from Madam Eva. In any case, you're not particularly attentive, but the merriment goes on for a long while. Maybe you're busying yourself with attaching your new peg leg.
Yeah, working on some other things.
From then on, I would say, yeah, it's a watch that passes without end.
Uneventfully. Okay.
So, moving on to next one. You guys can go ahead and roll. One of you can roll with advantage.
You should roll with advantage.
Okay, I can do that. That's an 18.
18.
Stats memorized?
At this point, most of the
They haven't changed your shit. We got it.
a fair bit of the Vistani have gone to bed, but a few still, sort of in the embers of the flickering light, still seem to be telling tales. You kind of overhear one or two talking about something about Fanes. You're not sure what
About Thanes?
Fanes.
Thanes.
Fanes.
Okay.
Is supposedly that the great Thane of the forest still resides, locked in peg-like form, is what you catch.
And Mary Lou, at some point during this, sort of turned to Claudio. So what do you think about this whole Stemamir business? Stanimir. I will pronounce that name right
Just
someday.
maybe that's what Mary Lou says every time.
Every time it's a different name.
You know the guy?
Stenamamamamir.
Stigglemere.
I mean, that's rough, man. I know people get pretty emotional as far as their spouses are concerned.
Yeah.
Murdering them seems a lot. But I wouldn't know. I'm a priest.
That is fair. That is fair. And sort of glanced down during this conversation. Sort of glanced down at her hatchet. Glanced up.
By the way, besides Madam Eva
Mm-hmm.
and Cesarini, who seems to be...
Cesarina.
Who seems to be in charge? Does it seem like commands, like she was looking for Madam Eva, or can we tell if one of them is in charge or not?
It was pretty clear that they were all deferential to Madam Eva.
Okay.
And by how they were speaking, Madam Eva seems to have some pretty good pull with all the Vistani.
Okay.
Or at least with all the ones that you've heard about. Cesarina seems to be the one who takes care of some day-to-day stuff.
Okay. More of the host.
More the host,
Yeah.
like lead caravanist type
Got it.
role.
Alright, lass, you've been hyping those muscles up since I've known you. Put her there.
Oh,
Alright,
God.
go ahead and make us just a strength roll, each of you.
That way?
Alright, so as the two of you face off in the tent, you're like get ready, and you're like kneeling down in front of the mud in this tent, and you like rustle and bustle for a second, and both of you sort of slip with sweaty hands and punch the person next to you. So we'll go ahead and roll who that is. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Irina. That's Irina. So the two of you just BAH! And Irina's like, what was that? And she kind of like pulls her rapier up. What is going on? Is it my turn for watch already? I thought.
No. I don't want to talk about it. Just here. I'll cast Cure Wounds on her.
And she like clutches at her eye and her like upper rib area.
Forget this happened. Go back to sleep. You're fine. It won't happen again.
What a
I'm
strange
very
dream.
embarrassed.
Maybe next time we're in a bar and have like a table.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A good table to actually do this on.
And she'll sort of.
Oh, what are the odds of you both getting
That one.
That's amazing.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that girl sleep in her armor?
I feel like she does.
No one's sleeping in their armor, but she's still
She's gonna be
quite
punched.
She just
muscular.
that tough?
One of us punched her in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're sleeping in your armor, you get a point of exhaustion. So no sleeping in armor. All right, Nora, you're up for a perception check on yourself or by yourself on your watch. Yeah.
I'm still here.
What'd you get?
18.
18. By this point, the Vistani have gone to sleep. You hear the gentle waves of this air pool kind of lapping up against the shoreline there, off in the distance beyond the whispering, dismal embers of the fire as it dies down. And it's a peaceful moment, and you're quite reflective on the things you've heard and the riddle and mentions of things from companions and strangers alike. And you think back to that moment when you were alone and she took you in and what became of you afterward. And it's hard not to feel a little bit angry of it. And you just feel even more driven regarding that particular individual. But all of you awake. Full rests, long rest bonuses. Everyone gets the benefits of a long rest. And we wake up upon the next day, slightly early in the morning. Jennifer, can we get you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
Let's see. That is a 18.
18.
That's pretty good.
You know, it's some dry mouth. There's some
Oh,
churning in
nice.
your stomach. 20?
20 total.
Yeah. So, overall, though, as a lady who has perused many,
College
establishments, you seem to be rather refreshed. And you realize for a second, like, you expect your stomach to be churning, you expect your feelings to feel that way, and you just sort of don't. You don't feel hungry, you don't feel tired, you just feel driven.
Something in that. What was that? That wine? The dragon?
I got the name wrong, I think. But, let me
Good wine. No wine hangover.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm about to mix you up, hangover cure, hair of the dog that bit you, some jerk.
No, I'm
It's
good.
great.
Yeah, whatever that stuff is. Chef's kiss. Very good.
I was slightly afraid to try it after what happened last time.
That's
I got
totally
offered food.
You know what? It's probably like, baby blood or something that I drink. That's why I feel great.
Jeez, way to go dark.
Is this or not? Drink ladies.
So,
are
Red
Maybe you're
Red
still-
Dragon Crush is what it's called. I knew I was
Red
getting the name
Dragon
wrong.
Crush.
Red
maybe
Dragon Crush.
you're
What
still drunk, Jennifer?
maybe. I don't know.
Just stay ahead of it. Keep drinking.
Yeah.
Says one of the one of
That's
the
my guy.
Vistani who's overhearing you and kind of like nudges you with a skin.
Hey.
Yeah,
Is Sasserina up?
Cesarina is not up. Don't worry, Cesarina. She's fine. She just likes to have a little bit of a kip in the mornings. Stays up late as our resident excellent storyteller.
So as we're getting up and getting ready to go, Darian's very interested in the horses.
Mm-hmm.
and he's interested in seeing. So he starts talking with them and see if one of them would be willing to let us either borrow
So what do you say to
or
them?
buy.
What does Darian say to them?
So Darian's talking to them and
Mhm.
asks, I noticed you have several horses. Madam Eva has obviously quested us and brought us to this land, and having already lost a foot, to make sure that we can make our adventure in due time, I'd love to either borrow or perhaps purchase or trade for one of your horses while we are here in Barovia.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm going to use my inspiration that you gave us from the town.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for inspiration.
15.
Plus persuasion, right?
Yeah.
17.
Well, I would say that if you are fated from the threads and weave cast by Madam Eva, it is falling upon you to sort out your own needs in attaining that. If you wish to strike a deal, then perhaps we can find some arrangement, but a horse costs a pretty penny. Go ahead. Let's start off with a little bit of dickering and banter as far as price goes.
So,
The guest has the first move.
Good luck.
so as is right, as is fair, Madam Eva has tasked us here to do great work and to hopefully save the land of Barovia. So whatever we come to agreement on will obviously be to the benefit of the land and your family as well. So
Lay it on.
Yeah.
We'll start with a good offer of 3 small moss agates and a flask of green alchemical fire.
and he holds this out.
He
for us.
He looks at the gems,
Yeah.
and pushes them back and says, "Son, you're gonna have to pony up a little bit more if you want a bit of one of our horses. They are of excellent quality, excellent training, and of course integral to our nomadic lifestyle. And as for the rest, you are not the first adventurers to come to Barovia. You're not the first to try and unseat Strahd himself, as you heard from the tale just last night. I would say, if the great wizard could not, and those others could not, even some of dwarven folk have been here before. Ah, yes, I met them. But if they all could not, it would not be a good bet for your kind with such a low price. I was thinking more on the order of 500 gold pieces per horse, and if you are not able to put up such money, I think you will find it a little bit harder.
Well, that doesn't say much faith that you have for your matron's designs and plans. She seems to think we have a chance of succeeding, and I would hope that you would be open to helping us be successful in our quest.
Okay, make another persuasion.
Don't make enemies out of
I
it.
only got a 20.
You got a
Non-natural 20.
Non-natural
Nice.
20.
Non-natural
Okay.
20.
Well, of course, and I have faith in Madam Eva's readings of potential, of futures and possibility. But she has made and cast fates for many of the fallen heroes of this land, for many fallen folk of this land. Perhaps you've even encountered some of them. But it is safe to say that you are not the first to be drawn here by fate's touch. The weave is strong with our people, and it is strong with the fates that Madam Eva casts out towards others, wrapping you in its threads. I will go as low as 300.
So, quick pause. Without me having to go back and look up the prices of everything,
Mhm.
can you give me a rough estimate of like the things? If I just ask you, can you tell me how much they are, or how do you want
For what?
for things like the silver sword that he's picked up, for the alchemical
You need to
fire,
have
for
the
next-
you need to have the
Okay.
the monetary values unless they're not listed. A silvered sword is worth just
Just give me a rough
a
estimate.
rough
'cause
estimate. It's
I don't have a sense of these
it's
things.
like 120 gold.
Okay.
Like 120
Okay.
gold.
Okay.
The gems, I believe you guys got those. You made an appraisal
Appraisal.
yourselves, but it's a guess because none of you are experts in gem crafting.
Mhm. Okay.
But I hope that someone noted that down.
We did.
I have the information, but then
I have,
that,
yeah.
so.
So okay, so then he goes out and he says, well, having been recently become a lord of the windmill,
I have an offer that may be poignant and perfect for such folk as you. I have the deed, and he pulls out the deed.
Okay, as you pull it out, you notice it's more rotten and weathered than it looked before.
Oh, okay. Is it
When you found it in the
still
house.
appear to be intact?
Not particularly legible.
Okay.
And he kind of glances at the paper and he says, "This thing, it looks pretty old. And as for Lord, I don't know of any Lord of the mills these days. The family that owned them were not even lords. But the only Lord of this land is the devil Strahd himself, and I would urge you a little bit of caution in bandying about such titles in his domain. It might earn a little bit of ire. Worse has been done for less, and certainly in the town of Vallaki, things are strict as well."
Well, perhaps you could make more use of them than I could, and I'd be willing to give you the deed to the house and the windmill longsword, which together could give you a rightful claim to that land, which should be worth at least 600 gold pieces.
Look around you. I have a bastion of land that I can explore. I have my family with me. We do not own property. We dispose of our tents. We build new homes wherever we roam. I want the freedom, not the shackles of tax and foolishness with a mill. And have you not heard that this mill itself is rather dangerous, or so rumor has it? What would it be to assign a man such a thing to take care of? If you bring it of great value yourself, perhaps when I am older and wish to retire, I will consider your offer. But until then, good day, sir.
He's not going to give me one more shot.
That's what you get. You get a good attempt, but they value their horses pretty thoroughly. And I was looking for a higher DC on that one.
Okay.
It's pretty bold trying to sell a house to a nomad.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking they could trade it to somebody else, make some money off of it. Anyway, I really wanted a horse. That
The
would go with
concept
the
of
peg
property
leg.
flipping has not made it to Barovia yet.
House hunters, house
Yeah.
flippers.
House Hunters Barovia.
TV special.
Do you want the
What's-
ghosts of children and horrible aberrations in
What's
the
that, like
basement?
John Mulaney skit? It's like, Craig and Stassi are looking for a 2-story A-frame by the beach, which is also near the downtown, nowhere near the beach.
Could be a haunted house or a nursery.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
All right, no horse. We should make
and
our way.
this is Otto you've been dealing with, and he just brandishes the like newly made up peg leg.
Okay.
Says, "Take your leg and go."
He takes his leg.
During
Um,
this like whole thing, Nora hasn't even been involved in any of the conversation. She's just been standing at the edge of the pool, like staring into the water.
Okay.
Hey Nora, you doing okay? Did you have some of that grape mash last night?
Oh, it seems like you did. Like, turns away and like
Wow.
Great sass.
I think I'm feeling and looking great, thank you.
Inside check.
She's looking as pale as ever. All right. Well, with the morning light, Irina especially seems antsy, and she says, "Well, now that you have all come here and gotten, I hope, what you hoped to get out of this space, or at least get whatever it is to do with those cards you were collecting. So shall we double back and head to the crossroads and head round?"
So on the map, there's two options.
As we mentioned before, that dotted path is the lower terrain path. Irina pointed this out to you, and it heads not to the bridge, which crosses the river, but to the bottom itself. And she says, "No, I think we should double back and head to the bridge so we can cross the river, unless some of you are better watersmen than I."
So that would force us to go ford the river, essentially.
If you wanted to cross, yeah, you'd probably have to find a place to go and like ford the river or cross it. And Irina says, "Well, it is a little bit deep to ford, perhaps swim, but with armor and heavy gear, that might, especially you, Lady Knight, might have a hard time swimming in such heavy metals."
And we can sort of tell from the area that this is getting more mountainous. Like we're starting to move into a more mountainous area, or is this still pretty flat?
So you guys haven't left the camp yet. You guys are still talking in the camp,
Okay.
presumably.
But
But
we can
this
see, like,
area is
Mount
filled with
Gakis and-
filled with mountains, and yes, you can see marked locations like Mount Gakis and Mount Baratok. Bless you,
Bless
you.
Jennifer. So you know of those mountains, and they are listed on the map, at least.
Okay.
You hear a wolf barking in the
In the
distance.
distance,
Oh, yes, the Jack's wolf.
What a good Jack's boy. Irina says, well, we at the very least should carry on to the crossroads yet again, and then onward, perhaps?
So you said, just so a point of clarification, that takes us to lower. We could go that route and then go up more mountainous terrain to make it to the main road.
That is a possibility.
That is a possibility.
At least
So
on the map, you don't know anything about what that terrain looks like
Darian
in
shares
person.
with the team, and he shares with them that he says, "Oh, I'm used to traveling this kind of land. I think I could help us navigate some of the more difficult areas and find some ways to shorten our journey amongst the mountains."
Oh, excellent.
So, I like the idea. But remember, you're missing a foot. It might
True.
make things difficult.
I concur. I also think that my brother especially, and the rest of those who I've spoken to, always urge to stick to the path. Deviating might be especially dangerous. You hear Odo pipe up and is like, "Yeah, stick to the path. Stick to the path. It's safer, and it's what we do."
So Darian's making the case for a much shorter trip. He's still obviously concerned about his foot, and it appears like if we went the long way around, it would take us at least a day to get to the ford, or at least as far as we walked yesterday to get to the ford. Whereas if we went on the lower path, it might only take us an hour or two.
So
The longer path seems to wind for many hours amongst trees, and there looks to be many opportunities for ambush along that as well.
well, it is certainly much safer from ambush when there's some non-forest rather than all forest. And she proceeds to help with some of the distances. So
Yeah, if you can help.
so it's about to backtrack. It would be about an hour's travel back to the crossroads.
Yep.
And then to get to that bridge that's there that crosses that's about 10 and a half miles. Remember that normal travel pace is about 3 miles per hour. You haven't tried with your new leg yet, but you might be able to manage up to that.
Okay.
You were doing 2 before.
Okay.
All the way from the bridge.
Because we only went from Barovia to Madam Eva's in 6 hours, right?
Yep, you did stop for a little bit at the
So
gallows
if
space.
we have another stop,
And you
we may
also
not
and
make it.
that combat's pretty snappy.
Yeah.
But you also stayed here a while and talked with Madam Eva.
I'm just worried that
so-
it's going to take us another day if we go the long route just to get to the ford, or right past the ford, and then another day to approximately where the windmill is,
So
and then another day to where Vallaki is.
in 8 hours of travel, which is
Yeah.
usually a day's travel is considered 8 hours
8
of
hours.
travel.
Yep.
You should be able to cover 24 miles if you're going 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You can choose to go fast pace, which is 4 miles an hour.
Okay.
That there are some penalties to perception checks. You
Okay.
might have a hard time going fast pace with your peg leg.
Yeah.
And so that's about where we're at. As far as the total distance to
So
Barovia,
could we
hang on,
make
let me
it-
just finish. As the total distance of the crossroads to Vallaki is about 35 miles.
Okay.
So 35 miles
So
plus the
if-
3.5 to get back there. So call it 39 miles total. That should be
So
below 2 days of travel.
if we did a fast pace, taking
You
the
are not able to do fast pace at all.
Okay.
With your
Just-
peg leg.
Got it. But let me just so I'm understanding how this works. If we were doing a fast pace from where we are, we could make it to Vallaki tonight. Hypothetically.
If you're cutting across country and stuff like that, is that what you're saying?
No, 'cause you're just doing the math, right? We'd be 4 miles an hour, 9 hours of travel, 36 miles, right? Like
Yeah,
we could
it's
hypothetically
39 miles is what it is.
Okay.
So,
So
you'd have to push beyond
9-10
normal
hours.
things, risking exhaustion.
Okay.
Um,
But we could maybe
but
make it
it
to
is
Vallaki
possible.
in one day if we
if
really
you really
push
push for it, I will say with your leg current condition, you are not able to travel at fast pace.
Got it.
You're also not able to dash, but otherwise your movement is non-restricted. So you
Got
can
it.
move at normal speed now. You just can't dash, and you also can't travel at fast
So
pace.
Darian, feeling rather upset about the situation of his foot, and upset that the troop
wasn't willing to part with a horse, is interested and shares with the team that he is interested in maybe stealing a horse and is looking for you guys to help make a distraction.
You're gonna have to pitch that, my dude. I would like to see. I'd like to hear your pitch.
So Darian is quite upset at this point, and he's not happy with the state of his foot, and he really wants to try and get to Kretz. So he first turns to Irina, and he says, Irina, I know you have an urgent mission, and we need to get help for the people and for the village of...
Well, yes, of course we do, but with all due respect, and I don't mean to sound like an egotistical individual here, but my brother is paying and hired you to take me to safety in Vallaki, not to Kretsk. What you do afterward is up to you.
Wouldn't he be happier getting you there today?
I am not thinking you will be able to make it today at all, and I am not thinking that we will successfully steal from these individuals without being noticed. Look how many there are, and they have shown us hospitality. This is not... Even if I am wary to trust them, that does not mean that we should steal from them. They have invited us to fire and hearth and home, and they have bestowed upon you knowledge and gifts. This seems poor taste.
He's just grieving his foot. This is the next stage.
It's bargaining. We're in bargaining.
Anger.
Bargaining,
I understand.
stealing a horse. It's all the stages.
Perhaps in Vallaki we might be able to attain a better assistance. In the meantime, though, I am thinking that we ought to stick together and not cause any additional delay, which might be involved with angering these Vistani. They say that Vistani curse those who wrong them, and I am already suffered from one curse, the attention of the devil, and I do not wish to bear another.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, no one wants to help me with it.
Ooh, yeah, no,
Nora's gonna walk up and like strangle your arm and like start
Take
walking
me
you
along with
forward.
Before we go, hey, it's Otto, right?
Yeah, it's Otto. What's your name?
Hi, Jennifer. I've got a question for you, Otto. You seem to know at
Yeah?
least the people that are around here. You feeling okay?
Yeah, it's just a little bright. A little bright this morning.
Did you do that? Did you try the red dragon crash?
Yeah, I think that's why I'm feeling this way. Have you had wine before?
Yeah, I feel great. This is the strangest thing.
Oh, show off. What do you want?
Sorry, I know I hate those kind of people too. Is there anyone around that camps with you that has any sort of like arcane ability that you know of?
Madam Eva is quite skilled with magics beyond my knowledge. I do not know if it is arcane or sourced from her connection with the weave, but
No one else?
no, that is my knowledge.
Okay.
All Vistani have the capacity to right wrongs, if you will,
Yeah.
but nothing much more than a few things. It varies with the person.
Well, let me tell you why I ask, and she'll pull out a cloak from her bag.
Mm-hmm.
But I got this, and I have a little bit of a arcane ability, and I can tell that this might be imbued with some magic. And the last
It's
thing
a
I
nice
wanna
cloak.
do-
You wanna
Isn't
sell it?
Isn't it really pretty? What you got?
5 gold.
Well, I don't know what it does first, and that's why I'm talking to you, Otto.
Well, then it sounds like a good deal to me.
Well, do you know of anybody that might have any way of identifying this?
Let me check real quick. And he darts into Madam Eva's tent. I gotta look up her stats.
If she can identify.
She's got it.
We should also probably ask them about the condition of the road.
Either way, we're going on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it'd be
So
nice
you guys
to
want
know.
to take the long route?
Yeah.
Madam Eva is indisposed at this time. She told me to bid you well and warm welcome if you come back, but good luck and don't sleep at night in the woods. Good luck.
Don't sleep at night in the woods. Okay. Did you just come to this area? Have you guys been around on the roads much lately?
We are Vistani. We travel all over.
Oh, right.
But of course,
Excuse me.
we lately have been camping here with Madam Eva, as she has bidden us to do.
Well,
Some of us come and go.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I mean, look at me. I'm not I'm not the camping kind of girl. It's just not. It's never been my thing.
I can tell.
Do you have any tips along the road? Any places that you thought were safe that we should make camp? Any places you thought were particularly unsafe that we should not make camp?
We Vistani are rather lucky, and have a... It is said that Strahd himself allows us to come and go. We are rarely antagonized. We are rarely harmed in the way that many other Barovians are. I do not know personally of this. They say that it is that he honored the day that we found him wounded when he first came to this valley, and repays that debt with our freedom. Some say that he commands all the creatures here in Barovia. Some say that he is all the creatures here in Barovia. For safety, I recommend numbers and Vistani camps, or civilized places.
Oh, well, are you doing it here now? You want to go? Maybe you should come on the road with us. We just need one Vistani, right?
I do not think it works like that.
Oh.
But I am going to be staying here.
Do you hate Strahd?
I neither hate nor love him.
But you've heard about
Have heard of him.
and his cruelty.
He is a forceful man. That much is certain, as have many rulers been over the centuries. But we have not faced invasion. We have not faced plague and famine. What is to say, and most importantly, we have not lost our freedom.
Want to help me steal this horse now?
Okay, no, chill with that. We're not stealing anything.
Alright, let's go.
I can hear you.
Don't mind him.
Let's
Otto.
get a couple extra guards on around here.
No, not necessary.
To your posts, my friends. Moving on. Best be moving on.
We're leaving. And now Mary Lou also grabs Darian and just sort of.
Between the two, just physically carrying him.
Just lift him up.
It's like
his
Gimli
legs
being
are
carried
going.
away in the middle of the Helm's Deep.
I will come up to Otto and, hey, sorry about that. Very rude. Here's a couple. I'll hand him like 2 gold pieces. Thank you for the hospitality. Wine was great. Stories were great. Camping was great.
Ah, my pleasure. You're welcome back anytime.
Thanks. Bye.
Good luck to you. All right, so heading out. Irina seems to be kind of keeping a little bit more to herself, but otherwise is sticking with the group as you guys make your way back to the crossroads. And over the next hour, it's a little, maybe a little more, as with the you're getting used to the peg leg a little bit. Might have a harder time stealthing, but are otherwise able to, depending on the terrain. But otherwise, you're able to make it back to the grim gallows that you witnessed before and battled the ghost or wraith or creature that was there. Now it is just an empty gallows with its rope cut and swinging with a few inches just.
So spooky.
A grim place, but here, and she points to the crossroads and says, well, it looks like we must be turning a little bit southeast as we navigate around the hills and mountains of the land.
While she's speaking, does it look like there's anything different from the last time we were here?
Make a perception check.
That is I don't have my stuff memorized. 16.
It does not appear to be much different. You found that the noose knot rope in the ground as before, and I believe you were the one who picked it up and took it. So there's still a little plot of disturbed earth. You don't notice anything in particular that's different around these spaces in general.
Gotcha.
Apparently my brain's not working. I thought you said new snot.
I also heard
And I
that.
was like, what?
No. I pulled it.
Mary Lou blows her nose into her shirt.
Nice.
Classy. Onward. All right, so I believe we had the road is wide enough in different sections for people to go either 2 or 3 wide. Even the whole party could go wide and still be okay on the road, more or less. At different sections it narrows, but probably at least a 2 or 3 wide. We'll say, so if you guys want to do a 2 wide or 3 wide formation, what's the marching order?
What did we have last time? I think Daring was in front to help set the pace, next to
Mary Lou, I think.
Mary Lou, and then it was behind. We had Irina and Jennifer, and in the back, Nora and Claudio.
Yep.
Mhm.
You guys want
That's
to
how we
do
did it?
that?
Yeah, muscle in front and back. Get Irina, who's the real
damage dealer.
Well, real
Yeah,
real
that's true.
vulnerable one, but also the real
And the
damage.
squishy princess right in the middle.
Yeah.
Battlefield
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, continuing on from the space that you head out to, let's see here. So coming from the crossroads, you head southeast, and the mists and morning coolness seem to pervade for a good time. Over the next 3 hours, you guys are plodding along, and you see the forests kind of lean in a rather sort of worrying way. The tops are sort of heavy in gray mist, so it blocks out a good portion of the light, making it feel very close and dark, even in this morning time of day where many of you are used to having brilliant sunshine. The woods otherwise appear to have the silence of a long forgotten grave. It's a cold and damp place, and as you guys continue moving forward, it's rather disconcerting that there are no chirping of birds, there are no small rustles of brush, of telling of a squirrel or a rabbit. It seems that this space, at least, does not appear to have much life to thrive within it. After a little while's travel, about your 3rd hour, you come up to a section. I need to pull up my proper notes on this.
Okay, while you do that. Wow, that peg leg looks really good. They did a really good job.
I mean, it's far more comfortable, certainly, and you don't have to lean on someone and be slow, so you're able to at least travel at normal
Instead
pace.
of like grumbling and still unhappy about it and not.
You're
That's-
getting it fixed.
The Vistani have excellent craftsmanship. Look at it, it's great.
After a little bit of time, you find a corpse in plain view. It's a little bit off in the distance, but clearly a dead body. Doesn't appear to be humanoid from the distance. It's far enough where it's like, gonna have to get a little closer to be sure, but it seems like it's some kind of animal. It's more or less on the path, just a little bit to the side.
Can we get a sense of scale?
Like how far?
How
How large it is, or how far?
Yeah, how large it is.
How large it is? Larger than a small critter. It could be man-sized or smaller, but it doesn't appear to be like bear-sized.
Okay.
You want to approach? I mean, it's just an animal, I think.
Let's just take a moment and listen, because whatever may have killed that is, I guess we wouldn't be able to tell if it was fresh. Might still be in the area.
I mean, most dead animals typically get eaten pretty quick. If my understanding of nature is correct, which it is.
Oh, I didn't know that you were a naturalist. Good to know.
I've traveled all over Lumaria. It's great. That's a little worrying. So keep on your guard, everyone. Either it's fresh or something's wrong with it.
Let's hope for fresh. And
So let's approach slowly and keep our ears and eyes peeled. Don't
Okay.
peel your ears or
We'll,
your eyes.
we'll try and pass it though, I think is the general sense. We're not going to go and investigate the corpse.
We'll look as we pass.
Yeah.
we
Okay.
could, like, we could,
Look
like,
as you pass. Okay.
Are you gonna have to do a thing?
we could like poke it with a stick.
What do you mean? Do a thing.
Don't you have to do a thing? I don't know. You tell me. Don't you have to do a thing?
It's an animal. There's no balance.
Oh, so you draw a line.
It doesn't have a soul as you or I do. So yes, that is.
Does it have a soul not like you or I do?
I don't really know.
Maybe it's like the next tier of soul, so it's even better.
Either way, it's beyond my ken.
Okay, that's fair.
So.
All right. So as you guys are traveling, two of you who would like to look can make a perception check as you're traveling past.
I want to look.
DC is going to be a little higher than obviously if you went up to investigate it.
Oh, I don't have my ones that I'm proficient in. Never mind. We can only say if I were to go up and look with.
Investigation
With
requires close enough to be touching.
Okay,
That's
but
what
I
you're
wouldn't be
trying
able to give him like if I'm helping him with it. I wouldn't be able to give him advantage unless I have.
Why don't you separately roll
Okay.
for this case?
Ooh, okay, not bad. 19.
9. Okay. You can tell this appears to be a wolf corpse. It appears to be killed by what's it has what looks like broken crossbow shafts in it. It looks not super fresh, but as Cledu kind of alluded to before, not old enough to have been devoured by nature's creatures. It seems partially worn away, though, and part of its back end is more bone than flesh. And the smell coming from it is rotten and deteriorated, much like Darian's foot.
And it's cold out.
It's cold out.
Okay.
Cool. I wouldn't say it's like icy, but it's cool.
I guess Jericho would know anything about the rates of.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. The rate of wolf decomposition is
Beyond.
probably beyond her knowledge set.
But I'll grab one of the crossbow shafts and be like. This
But
is
she
it.
can play the harp.
I can play the harp. I have talents. Yeah, so it was shot by something, which is interesting.
Yes, Barovian hunters sometimes go and help try and limit the plague of wolves in these woods.
Wouldn't they want to eat it though, Irina? Because the food's so short.
Perhaps this is a group from Vallaki. I do not
They
know
would
what
be
else to make of it.
expensive?
I do not know what else to make of it.
That's fair.
Since she's stopping and actually looking,
I am.
We're
Are
moving
people
by.
stopping?
We're moving by.
I was under the impression the team
She
was
was
moving
just
by
gonna
as you
take a
go.
look,
No one
right?
stopped.
okay, I don't know when she pulled out.
Did you want to stop in the middle?
I would imagine that Jennifer would go up and then
Okay.
grab the stuff and everyone would go past.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a quick drive-by.
Yeah, you got the information that you got. It seems like it was damaged by multiple. The shafts that are still in it are broken pretty much right at the arrowhead. They couldn't be retrieved safely, or with the thing still intact. There's no like intact crossbow bolts in it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you're seeing. Go ahead and make another perception check, though.
Okay. That is a 9.
Okay. That is about what you find. The smell is quite strong of decay, and you're ready to move on.
Alright.
Seems to cling to you a little bit.
Prestidigitation, that word.
Prestidigitation.
Irish.
I hate that word.
Prestidigitation,
Excuse my
yes.
language. I hate it.
All right.
Presentation is great.
Prestidigitation. Whatever, I'm not doing this. Stand in the mirror. Stand in my mirror.
All right. So as the team moves forward, Irina's sort of saying, "Well, good riddance to the beasts similar to those who attacked us. Perhaps we had better to be pressing on. As you say, who is to say what might come after us, drawn by the scent of blood." Do you guys carry on?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye out behind us in case the thing gets up again.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check, Clue, and someone at the front can make a perception check as well.
Do you want to make it?
Yeah.
12 for the front.
Okay, 1 second.
Watermelon.
Anyone want cookies? There's more cookies.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so in the first hour, so what'd you get there, Darian?
12.
Okay. And Cledu?
Not natural 20.
Okay. Nice. Man, you made that really hard for Kat.
Well, the thing is wrapped around. I had to do her access.
You could just take it off. Anyway.
My hands are busy. Man.
Okay. In any case, within the first hour, the mist parts a little bit, and as you guys get across, you guys make it to that. You make it to that bridge that crosses. Wait, hang on. Yeah, sorry. I had a little mixed up in my head. Haven't made it to the bridge yet. You guys are still plodding along in the forest as you guys move farther and farther into the spaces of the night, or not of the night, but of the darkened space that where everything is kind of crowded in. And in the first hour, it seems like there's not much to see more than what you have already seen, but you're struck by how beautiful this land and lush this land probably once was under if sun ever reached it. And with the pool by the water, thinking of that, it's austere, but it has that sort of cold, wintry, Germanic kind of beauty to it a little bit, but tinged now with all of your experiences that you've had here in Barovia, kind of coloring it a bit. After another few hours of travel, you make your way to a bend. The road begins to veer north around in a different section, and sorry, say again, your non-natural 20 was the thing? Okay, so you notice something unusual in the poking out of the ground in the space not far from where you're at. It's sort of off to the one side, to your left, so that would be east for the party.
I'll point it out.
And you see something kind of like something sticking out of the dirt just where the road turns into like foresty path.
Yeah, I'll point it out.
What
Okay.
is it?
Oh, something sticking out of the ground there. I mean, I can't. There's no accent while I'm eating.
That's fair.
There's spray cookie everywhere.
Okay, well, I mean, there's rocks and stuff poking out of the ground all over the place.
I don't know, man. It's kind of sticking out to me.
Like,
As he points it out, you can see it's clearly more than a rock. It's something different, although it seems to be a solid object.
As opposed to a ghost.
Hey, you never know, man.
Hey.
Right, we're in Barovia.
I speak too soon.
Yeah, I can change that if you want.
No.
That's
I appreciate that.
Do you want to go over and investigate?
I'll take a closer look.
Okay. You go over and go ahead and make a perception check for me. I'm assuming you want perception instead of investigation.
I probably should have landed here. 19.
19. Okay. It appears to be a small wooden box. It's not too. It almost seems like a. I'm trying to think of a good in-world set, but it looks like a small. Almost like briefcase. It's like a wooden box, maybe a couple foot, maybe a foot and a half, by a few extra inches, and it has like metal clasps. No lock or anything like that, but it appears to be. That's what's sticking out of the ground there.
Huh. Would you look at that?
And it took a sharp eye to notice it. Yet there's like mostly dirt and mud that is clinging to it to hide its presence.
Well, there's no way we're not looking at this thing, right?
No.
Right?
You might want to see if it's trapped. I would set a trap like that.
Dastardly.
Dastardly.
I actually got a bit of cookie.
No, it's all good. It's just a fun word to say with that accent.
It's just a great word.
Go ahead. You're going to check for traps.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a further perception or investigation check. For this, I would say investigation. I'll allow either.
Thank you.
Variable system.
Okay, you're going over to
Yeah.
check it out too. I mean, it's like maybe we shouldn't stop for every little box
Maybe
buried in the
it's
earth.
a businessman's briefcase and it's filled with money.
You are very monetarily minded.
Yes.
Natural one.
Natural
Woo!
20.
Yay!
Not locked, not trapped, from what you're able to tell, unless someone really is an expert in hiding
So
something.
26, if it matters.
Feel pretty good about it.
Alright.
Go open it up.
What's
See
in
what's
the box?
Yeah, we got places to be.
Okay.
Let's go.
It appears to be a Lepidopterist's box filled with dead moths pinned like to a card.
So cool.
The dead moths appear to have skull-like patterns on the wings and red, bright, almost crimson ridges to the edges of their wings and along their soft bodies. The thorax is red and the edges of the wings are red, and then there's like a skull-like pattern on the wings themselves.
Yeah, this is very macabre, but very cool. Does anyone want to carry this? I mean, I'll carry it. No one else wants to. We can't just leave it here.
Yeah,
No,
that's
we
cool.
gotta
Take
It's
it.
try
get wet and rot, and that's
Yeah, take it.
It's a
Surprisingly,
shame.
it seems pretty good and pretty well
And
intact.
intact, yeah.
Not damaged by the damp. Excuse me. And the moths all seem to be preserved in some manner.
Well, I'm a tough guy. I can carry it.
Cool.
Won't really make much of a difference.
Okay, 1 Lepidopterist's box.
Lepidopterist?
Lepidopterist.
Person who studies
Lepidopterist.
You're awesome.
T-E-R-I-S-T. I don't know if anyone was listening to me.
I'm sorry, I should have been.
I
It's all
was
good.
defining Lepidopterist.
Moth box.
Oh, it's a mock
I
box.
like it.
There you go.
Very American.
You designed your encounters just by flipping through an encyclopedia and just like, that's gonna be in the.
No, that's not how I did it, but thank you.
Such faith.
Lepidopterist.
How much is that weigh?
Lepidopterist.
The box itself is maybe 2 pounds. That's it. Like, the moths don't really add any
The moths
significant
are
weight.
6 pounds.
Yeah. There's some hefty moths.
These are rock moths.
All right.
Cool.
Continuing on. You guys are able to sort of push forward a little bit farther and round another section of forest that sort of bleeds into more mountainous region air. One second. I'm gonna just do a little thing. Music. I need my music.
Uh-oh, if you're putting music on, that means something bad's gonna happen.
No, I was playing the whole time, just softly in the background.
Oh.
I just gotta add the scene, the setting. You guys are rounding the space, and you see now, off in the distance, the mist's clear as the forest breaks away in that sort of turning section of forest as you wheel your way more towards the north section where you might approach the water line. And you can see and you check the map. Darian's probably out, like, got the map unfolded, and he's like, "Oh, that's Mount Gakis over there." It is pronounced Gakis, actually. Yeah, so you're noticing some landmarks as you guys are making some progress, and again, you're struck by how nice this valley must be as it's between these two major peaks in the mountain range that kind of divides them. This valley is a lush space, you know. Once upon a time, perhaps a warlord settling here might have once been happy. Might have been. In any case, as you guys make your way along to sort of the next little section of travel that you experience, you notice something fluttering off in, like something just at the edges of your vision. And you're like, oh, okay, not sure. This is sort of, everyone sort of, we'll say it was Cladu because he rolled so highly on his previous perception. Notices something at the edges of his vision, but when he looks there, there's nothing there.
I swear if those raiders show up again.
And you guys kind of continue on. And again, ahead, you see what looks like a corpse, although this one is kind of more immediately stark and close by, based on how you guys sort of round this particular section of wood. You see it kind of jutting up against the edges of the wood yet again. But this one, unlike its predecessor, is stripped to the bone. It is also it appears to be a smaller animal. It may be a possum, or some kind of creature of that sort. And another pair of skeletons lead away as a trail into the woods.
The same type of skeleton?
Different animals, from what you can tell.
Can I take a look, closer look at one and see if there's like bite marks on the bones?
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
Can I look for any tracks that might be around this area?
Okay, also a perception check.
16.
16. You don't notice any bite marks or damage to the body other than it has been stripped clean. It almost is as if someone dipped it in acid or something that ate away the flesh and sinew, but not the bone beneath. What'd you get? 12. You don't see any tracks of major note in this particular region. However, both of you begin to hear sort of a kind of humming cicada-like noise. And pretty quickly you see a fluttering shape dance out from the mist, a moth with bright edges on its wings. It lands briefly on Cladu's head, and you can see the skull-like patterns on its wings, just as those in the box.
Can I cast Mage Hand and try to catch it?
Okay, go ahead and make a straight ability check Go ahead and make an ability check with your spellcasting ability modifier. So yours would be charisma, I believe.
That's a 14.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to catch it.
I got it.
And pretty soon, several more moths flicker out from
Oh,
the
shit.
mist. And then, all over, a swarm of these moths floods in and begin to flutter out with heavy, chittering sounds, that sort of cicada-like rhythm going... and they sort of engulf the space around Cledu. Immediately you feel like nibbling at your skin. We need everyone to go ahead and roll initiative.
Fear of the moths.
As someone who knits and deals with a lot of wool, this feels very real to my heart. That's how I always see moths.
I love them.
I mean, they're fine outside.
Okay. While we're doing this, actually this is probably a good point to go ahead and go for a little bit of a break while I get this combat set up. So we'll be back in a few minutes, hopefully less than 10, around 5 maybe. So go ahead and we'll be back in a little bit. Thank you for those of you who are still tuning in at home.
Tell me your favorite color in the chat. Bye.
Yes, chat, tell us your favorite color. Tell us something about yourself. We're going to break and we'll be back soon.
the last cheese?
Oh, I'm good.
I'll be
Thank you.
right back. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get everyone else's initiative rolls while Sarah is heading on back. So 25 to 20.
21.
Noise.
All right, Mary Lou with 21.
I think it was specifically a curse
Oh, Tana.
of Tana.
Yeah,
Not you, just Tana.
Not me.
Your other character always bottom in the initiative order, which is
Terrible.
helpful to have a healer for, I guess.
Yeah,
But, you know.
no. Marilou's gotta slap those moths.
20 to 20,
This is good
20 to 15. 20 to 15. Okay, 15 to 10.
10.
Okay, Irina got it to 12.
Good for her. We'll crossbow those moths. It'll be great.
Good idea.
There's a person underneath those moths.
That feels
10
like
for
just
Cladoo, right?
like don't bully that
Yeah,
those moths. There's a person underneath there.
10 to 5.
8.
5 for Darian.
Jennifer 8.
I'm gonna get
Darian for 5.
Mm-hmm.
I like how, like with rolling a 10, it's like, yeah, you're surrounded by moths, but
Nora, what was your initiative order?
16.
16 for Nora. Alright, I had you right where you're going to be. Perfect. Alright. Let me get music going, and we'll resume with Mary Lou kicking us off for combat. So, take it away, Mary Lou. You see your dwarven friend. Whoa! What's going on? As you get engulfed in these bloody winged moths, and that heavy echoing, like cicada sound is ever present and very loud.
You might want to turn that down just a little. It's really loud.
We jamming.
Gotta set the scene.
She would like to rage.
Alright.
Ah! And then she will go, bugs, and she'll go over towards Claudio and just kind of slap the moths.
Okay. Are
Like
you
two-
unarmed strike?
Yeah, 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay. Go for it.
Give him a slap.
Give him the slap. That is 15 to hit.
15. I'll just roll away from their stat block because I'm a goof. 15 hits, go to roll damage.
That'll be 9 damage.
9 damage,
That's a
alright.
slap.
You just smack a whole bunch of those moths and splatter them all over.
Okay, second one. That is a 8.
8 does not hit. This time, they kind of swoop out, and as you're noticing, you see like a bat fluttering in the skyline as you sort of make a wide swing, and it sort of flutters off and darts off into the forest beyond. But no success with the second attack. All right, that's it for your turn, presumably.
Yes.
All right, Nora, you're up.
Is it centered all around Cladoo?
It's on his space, yeah.
Can I cast Shield of Faith on Cladoo?
Okay. So, does that have a cast range, or do you need to touch him? You're within touch
Within
distance.
60 feet.
Okay, yeah, definitely has a cast range.
So
Yeah.
you get 2 plus 2 to your AC.
Nice.
All right. So, grabbing your holy symbol and whispering a muttered prayer, a sort of green aura of light kind of flickers in and around you, and seems to be assisting you in protecting you from harm.
My shield's up.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do? I believe it's a bonus action to cast that spell. Would you like to do anything for your action?
Oh, it
Slap
is.
some moss.
I'm gonna, yeah, go at it.
Okay.
So
You're gonna
I guess
use.
I'll use my longsword to just like.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I like the whisking the air
Just
there.
trying to cut some of them somewhere, right?
Yeah. That'll do it.
Just on that one.
That's 19.
19 will hit. Go to roll damage.
Okay. Since my shield's up, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be a D8.
Oh, 4 damage.
4 damage. Timing it pretty well, you see like wings parting and falling down to the ground as more moths, and you begin to between the two of you, you've thinned out a fair bit of the swarm so far. But now it's the swarm's turn to go ahead and munch right there on Cladoo. He's such a tasty meal for them. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
Does not, thanks to work with the
All right. So as they're kind of bore into your skin, you feel the like flickering light kind of resist, and they sort of kind of surge away from it and flicker in and out, back and forth, but to no avail. All right, that's it for their turn. Let's see. next is going to be Irina. She is going to draw her rapier and turn around, like so, and is going to attempt to make an attack roll against them. That is going to be a hit, and she's able to do, wow, max damage there. With her rather ornate-looking rapier, she and like stabs and spears a whole bunch of them in one go for 10 damage. So that's actually going to be enough to kill it. So down the swarm goes.
I guess Jennifer and I, we just...
I still
Yeah.
have the one mage hand.
Yep. You're hearing though off in the distance in the direction of more of those corpses to you guys' party's left. You're hearing more of that like chittering noise, and it seems to be coming closer now that you can no longer hear it so immediately as a distraction. You're hearing it from the distance as well.
Let's get going.
Let's go.
Do we want the ones on our rapier for the moth box?
Do we keep the moth box? They kind of.
You want to look at the moth box?
Well, you guys are talking about moth boxes. Let's see. Cladu, you're talking about moth boxes. Jennifer, you're holding the moth. Daring, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Are we leaving, or it sounds?
We should be leaving. Like if we're hearing cicadas, so he's gonna yell for the team. There's more of these coming. Run, run.
Okay, you're seeing almost a luminescence in the distance here. Let's go ahead and have everyone make. As you guys beat it so quickly, you have a chance to escape. So go ahead and make a acrobatics. Well, we'll say it's an athletics roll. So everyone go ahead and make an athletics check. I believe you're going to be at advantage with that because you're raging.
Oh yeah, I'm still raging. First one was better.
Okay. Darian?
21.
21. Okay.
14.
Okay.
23.
Okay.
5.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
18.
Okay. Hobbling behind with her one moth in her mage hands, Jennifer is like, but wait!
It's pretty.
It's pretty! And you see more of them begin to like flutter and descend, but Irina and Mary Lou are able to probably quickly wrangle her, and kind of, you guys make it away far enough past everyone can spend their next turn dashing as the swarm again begins to congeal from back beyond, and you see multiple of them sort of forming and getting ready to surge on you, but the party heads on ahead, and further combat is avoided. So nice job there. You guys took care of that pretty easily.
Can Mary Lou sort of be assisting Darian with the getting out quickly?
Yeah, he's
I got out first.
he's doing okay. It's a little painful for him. He's like wincing. So
As you were slapping them down, I was running. That's what I
yeah,
said.
so able to make it away, and the next section, as you're sort of kind of huffing and puffing and going, you guys make a little bit of extra distance made up for the stopping and inspecting the different things that you've stopped and inspected. But you're able to make it past without any further incursion from the blood moth swarms that were suspiciously appearing from those woods. As you guys were moving along and rounding the corner and heading farther along, you eventually keep moving forward, and the mists intermittently open up, and you see ahead some spaces that are encouraging as you're beginning to note that this is not a particularly pleasant land to be traveling in, considering that you're on the road in daytime. You can only imagine what it might be like at night. But you come and see in the distance signs of the River Evelis traveling through the valley here. Perhaps the natural carving of the valley in the first place from these mountains all those years ago. Continuing along, you guys make it to, I need to, 1 second here.
While we're doing that, I have a playing card set. I'm going to dump the cards out of the box and put the moth into the box. I caught it!
Okay.
And then I'm gonna...
It's a big moth too. They're pretty big,
Do
like
they all fit in a-
almost hand-sized.
Oh shit.
So you have to like squeeze it in. A few of the like clippings of the moth wings go fluttering to the sides as you like
No.
cap it in there.
No. Okay. I'll like open up the top a little bit and put like, a little bit of ration in there and like. close
Okay.
back down.
It's sort of like, but it stays in there.
I got it.
Do we need
You have caught blood moth.
Yeah.
I mean, if only there were more of them.
No, just one's enough.
You caught it. You could maybe train it or something.
You little assassin.
Because we already have a dog, and we can't even eat the moth.
That's not true.
You
There
haven't
might-
tried.
Lancelot is sort of along. He kind of kept up with the team, but is otherwise sort of like very vigilantly alert. Didn't really see the moths coming, so now he's like extra alert.
I'll
Yeah.
toss him the rest of the ration that I gave him off.
Are we gonna adopt any more critters on this journey?
Depends on if we see any more critters along this journey.
Not if we want to catch it. If we see them, they're ours.
Nice.
Are we
Move.
gonna... We've seen wolves. Are we gonna get a pet wolf?
I would love one. That'd be great.
We're not gonna get a pet wolf, Lancy.
Lancy.
Yeah, she'll scritch him begrudgingly. She's like every
Like,
dad
yeah.
that says, no, I don't want a pet.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
I like it. But you follow the dirt road as it clings to the side of that mountain and ends before an arching bridge of mold-encrusted stone that spans the natural chasm ahead. There are gargoyles cloaked in black moss that perch on the corners of the bridge, and their frowns seem weather-worn and equally unwelcoming. On the mountainous side of the bridge, this is to the east, to your guys' left. A waterfall spills into a misty pool nearly 1,000 feet below, in a sort of cascading curtain of water and mist that resounds from the space. The pool seems to feed a river that meanders into the fog-shrouded pines blanketing the valley. And again, you're struck by the sad beauty that seems to be here in this space. So, bridge is ahead of you. You're right in front of it. Anything anyone wants to do before they cross the bridge?
Can I check for anything suspicious?
Okay.
Take a look around, see. Better look at the gargoyles.
Okay.
See if anything's
Why
happening.
don't you make a perception check for the gargoyles? Nora, why don't you make a perception check for just general
We're still like 100 feet away.
danger? Yep.
Okay.
I'd say probably closer to 50. Nora?
You said it's perception?
Yeah.
18.
22.
From this distance, gargoyles look like gargoyles. Like I said, draped and cloaked in moss. They seem pretty well worn. Some cracks showing in their stone. They seem to be of sort of like classic snarling humanoid creatures with like bat wings for arms. Oh, that is a drum. Sorry, drum.
It had to happen at some point.
Yeah, probably. I'm a jester. You can't tell already. But that's what you're noticing there. With your roll there, Nora, you got an 18, you said, right? You're not noticing any particular dangers. You're glad to be away from the fluttering big swarm of moths and wherever those were coming from. And Irina's like, perhaps we should mark that spot on the map for worrying warnings of moths. I hope there are not more of them. But otherwise, yeah, you're not seeing any farther concerns and things like that. The bridge seems steady and stable, as I was trying to say at the same time, and seems to span quite a big gap. The gap in the river is large, and the bridge spans that, so it's rather an engineering marvel. So that's what you're noticing.
How fast is the water going underneath that?
Reasonable pace. It's not like, but at the bottom, where the waterfall hits, obviously it's sort of more rushing and then still, with a pool that slowly bends down with the curves of the water, the curves of the land.
Is there enough land on our side of the bridge to look under the bridge?
So you guys are quite high up. If you mean like sneaking around to the edge and looking under, you could span out a little bit. The space, spans either side the river. There's some mountain. There's sort of mountain terrain to the east, and then you can see down below that dirt path that looks like it leads to the Sayer Pool near Madam Eva's encampment and stuff like that. So that one's to the west, to you guys' right, as you guys are facing the bridge, is down a shelf of rock. You guys have been traveling with a little bit of elevation. It's kind of hard to notice because it's been more gradual, but that's the situation. You can go and look with a perception check to see if you're getting right up to the edge of the bridge, basically, and having a look at it.
12.
You don't notice any creepy trolls hanging on the other side of the bridge.
Perfect.
But otherwise, who's to say?
Looks like a bridge. Yep.
What?
Okay, let's cross.
Onward, but alert, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. You guys cross. There's a sort of austere sneer. You guys make eye contact with the gargoyles for a moment and then pass on. They appear to be normal gargoyles. And you guys head past over the bridge and continue on in your travels. And as you guys get to the other side of the bridge, you're struck at some of the clearing in the mist, and you can see a large hill, almost mountain, and then the large, even larger space where Castle Ravenloft sits. You can see it now clear in the mist, looming ahead, and you can kind of see again how oppressive it looks, how austere and demeaning it is to all the rest of the land around it. Perhaps it's just your connotations with the experiences you've had in the village of Barovia, and it certainly seems to loom heavy and large in the distance. Even further further north, just directly ahead, you can see the peak of Mount Baratok off in the distance, the large mountain that is residing up there. And these hills and lands that you're building in, that you're moving in, you can see Castle Ravenloft was built intelligently to look upon the valley, and then the mountain seems rather close, and like a peak that might call to the mountain dwarf to climb or to delve beneath, just as Mount Gakis did as well.
That's a nice mountain right there.
It is. It's not nice.
You should at least put it in a bigger box. I know. I have a cooking pot that I could put it in. I didn't think. I was stressed out. Now I feel bad. And now it's gonna hate me, and I'm never gonna be able to train it.
How to Train Your Moth, ladies and gentlemen.
And you could also just
DreamWorks
let
is
it
next.
go, or we could get a pin and put it in the box.
No.
As you guys are discussing this, you guys move on past the bridge.
Yep.
And continue on, rounding away from the larger hills that lead to the frightening castle that looms in the mist. And it only is visible in a flickering moment, and before it again gets cloaked and shrouded in the gray and white. But you continue on and eventually make your way to another crossroads. Up ahead, you can see another set of gates, much similar to what you saw the first time you entered Barovia. These ones with guarded statues with their arms crossed over like this, bearing a knife and a knife and a spear crisscrossed over their arms like this. They seem to be large, impressive, and intact, more so than those that were at the beginnings of the gate, though you do see that they still show signs of wear, of sorrow inlaid into their cracks and moss that sort of wreaths them. At the crossroads space, the mountains and the forest and fog seem... The mountains and forest and fog here at this space, even at the crux of the castle, they seem inescapable. You're constantly turning and you're seeing mountains shrouded in fog, forest shrouded in fog, land shrouded in fog. And all of it, it seems like, is a frightening space to traverse. Maybe it's just because you've had so many experiences already here. But you're certainly eager, as Darian was, to carry on and keep moving. The dirt road splits in two, widening toward the east. There you see patches of cobblestone suggesting that the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare. Now, though, it seems quite worn down and deteriorated, as much of this land has seen. The gates don't seem to have barred closings or anything like that, though. On large doors, they seem more like standing statue sentinels with sort of a metallic half-gate space that's wide open. You guys continue on through it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, carrying on, we're heading into the next several hours of journey at this pace. At this point, let's see, that would be... so at this point, you guys have been going on for probably a good 6 or 7 hours. And, it's beginning to wear on you a little bit, but you are able to press on. and we'll go ahead and have the lead two, Darian and Claudio, Darian and Mary Lou, make perception checks unless you guys would like to do something different.
Can I look behind?
Sure.
Since I'm just in the back.
Okay.
That is a
It's all on me.
strong number.
Strong 3. Rolled a 5, but it was a strong
That's
2.
2
16.
first place. Oh. Right. Maybe
Strong 3, 16. Claudio?
15.
Okay. You don't notice anything in particular behind you, although the mist seems to be closing in from behind and hiding much of the path, even the bridge and crossroads and gates. All of it seems to be sort of eaten away behind you as you guys are keeping an eye out in the back. Darian, moving forward, you're able to kind of... You're getting a feel for some of the land here, or maybe you're just feeling particularly confident or rushed in this moment, but you're able to get past the next section here of forest, eagerly seeing a further mountain and hillsides ahead. Continuing on, you make a good progress.
So as we get to the end of the hill, end of the forest, have we exited that forested area?
Yeah, that forested area is just where you've gotten past.
So, given that we
And
made up some time,
Darkness is
starting
beginning
to
to show. It's
we,
like dusk.
we have to now make a decision, which is we're looking at Gary's looking at the map and he's like pointing out we either have to push on towards Vallaki through the night, or try and stop at the mill, or try and cross through the mountains. And he's sort of like doing the math in his head and like looking at it and looking at what, listening to what the Vallaki, right, the Vistani,
Vistani
what
with
they were
people.
saying.
Valaki's where you're going.
Vallaki, Vistani, what they were telling us about not resting out in the forest at night and like trying to figure out what do you guys want to do, which is we've got to either cross country, stay at the mill, or rest in the forest.
I am not sure that we can avoid resting somewhere of danger, whether it is the mill or the forest.
Or
Even
keep
if we
going
press
at night.
on throughout the night, that will only make it much more dangerous if we are beset upon problems. And with each passing hour becoming harder and harder.
But we've made good time up until this point, where we went faster than we even expected, because we're more than halfway there
Yeah, you guys made a good
at this point. We made a good
section
pace and
of
we got
time.
past the moths. So we could go a couple hours into night if you wanted
As long as
to.
we'll make it there by tomorrow.
Yeah, you're making much better pace now that you are not slowing the group down
I'm
a
not
little bit.
slowing them down. Yeah.
And are able to cross at a decent clip.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
But
we might
you're
have to
also-
go like 3-4 hours a night, and we could make it to Vallaki.
There's a lot of mountain and hill still. You could maybe do it,
So
but
that's what he's where Darian's pointing out. He's
you'd have to
help
cut.
guide us
You'd
through
have
the
to cut across
mountains
some country there and
we
not
could-
follow the road.
and not follow
Is
the
what
road.
you're-
And he's feeling he's like getting his lay of the land. He's like I'm feeling pretty confident that if we wanted to push for it overnight,
All
we
of the
could try and-
problems that we have seen so far have been right at the edge of the road. I do not like to think what we might encounter off the road.
I'd also like to point out that, like, seems like you two can see in the dark, which is weird. I don't think the
You're
rest.
telling me you can't.
You
Uh,
can't. It hasn't been so dark that I haven't been able to see.
Okay, Arena, can you see in the dark?
I cannot. No. Soon we will need to light torches, which
Yeah.
also begs a bit of a
Yeah,
concern.
that's what whether it's torches or Nora does her light thing, I think that could, even if we were sneaky, that could attract things, or it's just me and Arena just tripping over every single route. And,
do you still have that femur?
so
what? Would I give it up?
I'll like touch it with a nice bright yellow light.
All right.
I mean-
The light femur seems to be
I'll change it for it.
seems to be handling pretty well in the
Yeah, but
time.
I mean, this is great, Nora, but I'm worried even like this could attract.
You're right. And
But
I'll like
We should
snap
just
out.
bed down.
So
In
hearing
the mill?
hearing what we've heard about the mill, about we may not want to stop at night in the mill.
I heard you were lord of the mill.
Insight.
Well, I'm not ready to see my family's property just yet, given the disrepair it's apparently fallen into.
I mean,
But it could provide us a roof over our
It
head,
could.
a stronghold.
I don't.
Very well.
We have no good options here. So it's either weird mystery stuff in the forest, weird mystery stuff in the mill.
Either way, we still have a few hours of light.
Yeah.
Perhaps we press on
So,
continuing,
wait,
or are we
based-
going to cut across
Based on where we are,
space?
this is the decision now to, if we want to go cross country and try and make it there one night, this is sort of the point.
As you guys are discussing
Right
it,
here.
you notice that it begins to rain.
Okay, so we're like right here, Nicholas?
Mhm.
Like right
Yep.
there? Yeah. So we're right here. So we can, instead of doing this whole thing, we could just go like that. And then like that to Vallaki. And we'll go through this stretch of forest at night.
I'm just gonna go ahead and trust the local here and say no.
You know, so Darian's obviously eager. He wants to get to Vallaki as quickly as possible.
I don't
And he's
do
feeling better
cross
about...
trekking. I don't do hiking.
How about camping in the forest at night?
I also don't do that.
Mill?
See, look, I think you would do really well with a nice warm tavern at the end of the night here in Vallaki, and
When he says end of the night,
Civilization.
when the sun rises.
It's the end of most of my nights.
That's when you went to bed last night. I mean,
Well, I am hesitant to press on, but I will respect your guys' your judgment. Why don't we put it to a vote? I vote that we. I will abstain. I will be tiebreaker in case we get into the messy moments of
Okay.
6 of us voting.
I mean,
Well,
there's-
I'm convinced by Darian's case. I
6
would
with
like
Irina.
That's why she's not voting.
So who wants to keep on carrying on?
I'm gonna keep it cross country, and try and make it there by night.
If
That
I
would be.
trip and fall, no one's allowed to laugh.
Who
Agreed,
wants
agreed.
to camp in the forest?
I think that's the smart move. Anything else is asking for trouble.
Okay, so 2 for the. Is that 2 for
2
the
and
forest?
2, yeah. What
Two,
do you want to
two.
do, Mary Lou?
God damn, I wanted to stay in the mill, which is the arena.
Well, we have 2 and 2. The mill seemed a strong contender to me as well, but
So
I am
2, 2,
thinking.
and 2.
I am thinking that the best decision is for us to be careful. Whatever that means, I think to us it means carrying on for a few hours on the road while we still have light, and then finding perhaps somewhere else to camp that is safe. But I do not wish to leave the road. That is my vote. But I don't think that we should either wait, as we have already been beset with troubles. The longer we have to travel tomorrow, we might as well make the most of today.
Okay, so
True. All right,
go
so
on for a few hours,
trading.
camp in the
Let's go.
forest. I
Let's
think
go.
that's a good
Yeah.
compromise
Well,
between everything.
I don't know. I think that gives us the worst of everything. But
That's exactly what I was looking to do.
I did-
Perfect.
That sounds like a true compromise.
okay, yeah.
All right, so moving ahead, you guys travel on, and the rain is miserably heavy now. It's pouring down, and it's dampening spirit as much as cloth at this stage, and it's getting that sort of rattle-tat on your guys' metal and other things that you're wearing. It's quite miserable, and you get the sense that if you stayed out here too long, you're risking some, chances of a cold or something unpleasant. It cuts down visibility significantly, at least by half. But you continue on, and it's dumping for a little while, and the old Svalich Road sort of transitions here from a winding path through the Balanok Mountains, which is the name of the mountain valleys, to a lazy trail that sort of hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. The rain sort of begins to sort of lighten up, and a branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill. Its warped wooden vanes are stripped bare, and it does seem to be turning, though.
And just to be clear, there are 2 different things. There's a mill where they're making meats, and there's the windmill. Or is that the same thing when we've been referring to these things?
You only know of one mill, and you are seeing it here.
Okay, because I think when they mentioned the pies and things, when we were talking about the pies,
Mhm.
that was a mill, meaning like I was thinking about it, maybe this is different, but like a puppy mill or a food mill or farm mill, like that kind of thing, versus a windmill. Right?
This is
meaning
like
a warehouse where you keep food and you process food.
Yeah, sorry,
versus
no,
a windmill.
not a windmill. But it's like where you would grind or make bread.
Yeah.
Like
And this
that
is
kind of
a
stuff.
that type.
This is that type.
That type. Okay.
Sorry for the confusion.
Okay.
Several ravens are circling over something past the mill in the distance. And as you guys are moving along, you catch a flash of blue wings on black feathers. Here, this raven, familiar, maybe a little larger than a normal raven, sort of circles ahead, flows towards the circling group, circles for a moment, and then passes on.
Circles towards our group.
No, they went
Or
to the other
The other
circling
circling group. Group of
ravens
Yeah.
and circled with them for a little bit and then moved on.
Alright, what do you guys want to do? You want to explore the windmill? So Darian's interested in seeing his new.
It is your
newly
property.
acquired
Perhaps
property.
needs a little renovation, but I suppose we cannot talk given our father's mansion state.
I mean, I'm kind of curious.
Check out the
I mean, we have to investigate with the rumors that we've been hearing. Like,
I just don't want to
maybe
spend the
they're
night in
making
the rain.
pies.
But-
Maybe they're stealing children. Maybe
Maybe they're
they're.
making children pies. Who knows?
Maybe there's just a bunch of rumors that are going around that have no substance to them.
I mean, that'd be useful to know too.
That is optimistic.
It is. I'm tired and I don't want to get out of the rain. And I'm cold.
Yeah, let's go.
And there's only so many times I can use magic to make myself warm.
Is that true?
I could do it a bunch. I just want to go inside because I'm tired.
There we go. That's all. A little honesty.
I like the honesty, but good lie at the start.
Yeah,
No
you
stress.
know, thanks.
Yeah, let's explore Darian's new property.
Hopefully he has no subjects inside. I don't think I want to meet them.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going with optimism, maybe they're just nice, sweet ladies baking pies, and they don't know why they're having these pie effects.
So we
They
all
were
know we're going to be
delicious.
killing something or someone.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just
Okay,
trying
okay.
to play
That was
along
weird.
with this one's optimism.
All right, so we're gonna go up to the mill.
Well, I do not like attacking people out of
I mean, trust me. Trust me. We won't start it, but it's going to happen.
Well, I hope that we can make this land brighter than you think it will be. We're just going to wait for Michael to return.
Yeah.
But as you guys are getting closer, you are noticing, here he is.
Did we decide to go?
Yep.
The onion-domed edifice leans to one side as a lonely wife leans out the window for her husband. You see gray brick walls and a few intact windows on the upper floors as you approach the mill. A sadly drooping wooden platform encircles the windmill above the door to the building's interior, sort of a secondary platform, second-story deal. Perched on a wooden beam above the door is a raven. This is not the blue feathered raven. It hops about and squawks at you, seeming agitated, and it sort of flies off in the direction of its circling brethren.
Are we keeping this one as a pet too?
I didn't think about catching it fast enough.
I have
It's
some
already
rations. We can bait it.
And the mill is built on a hill. It's the mill on a hill, and as you get on top of the hill, close enough to see these things, the door and the side sections of the mill itself, you're also atop the hill and gives you a better view. You can see 4 ancient standing stones, megaliths, that look to have stood for an age or longer. The ravens circle above it, and one pecks at something atop one of the stones. This is sort of down below, on a lower hill, not where this mill is built. Otherwise, you see that the front door to the mill is sad and lonely looking, broken, and seems to be ever so slightly cracked open. No lock or padlock or anything like that.
Jennifer will go up and knock on the door.
Okay. As you go up and knock, you smell some nice smells coming from inside. Maybe someone's got dinner going, and you knock. And it's
Hello.
pushing it in. So immediately, what you see is that the ground floor seems to be converted into a makeshift kitchen. The room has seen better days, but is intact. Is everyone else following, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baskets and dishware are sort of stacked in one corner. Adding to the clutter is an empty peddler's cart, similar to the one you saw from the lady pushing in town. There's a heavy wooden trunk off to one side, and a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors. Additionally, you hear some clucking of chickens. It seems like there's some kind of chicken coop, sort of makeshift built off into one side, all locked up. And you also hear toads croaking. The sweet smell of pastries blends strangely with an unusual scent emanating from an open, upright barrel in the center of the room. Otherwise, though, warmth issues from a brick oven against one wall. A crumbling staircase ascends the wall across from that. Padding along the dusty floor and turning to you as you knock on her door is a heavy-set and wrinkled elderly woman with a hunched back and crooked, warty nose. A sharp bodkin holds up the nest of hair that was perhaps once a color and is now just faded. A flour-dusted and darkly stained apron rests upon her body, and she turns to you and says, "Ah! Visitors! Hungry customers, perhaps? I make pastries very tasty. Come, get out of the rain."
Have we met? Did we see you in Barovia?
This whole land is Barovia, but no, I do not believe we have
no,
met.
Sorry, in the town.
Do you mean the village?
The village, sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm new. I'm not from here.
No, but sometimes we do go about, there's a few of us who work here and do our bit. Mother tends to run things, but my sister and I have also done our bit. My sister is now off on a little bit of a vacation in Vallaki.
Oh, nice.
But if you are interested in coming in for the night, feel free. I will sell delicious pastries, freshly made, for 1 gold each, or maybe even 5 silver for such handsome, lovely people. And perhaps some tea. Here, come. And she kind of pads.
But we haven't even gotten your name.
Oh, sorry, it's how forgetful of me. It is Frigga.
Hi, Frigga.
And each of you?
My name's Jennifer, and these are my compatriots.
Oh, compatriots, eh? Is there a name that you all go by?
We are the peddlers.
Oh, I'm a bit of a peddler
Are
myself.
we now?
Since when were the peddlers?
I'm a bit of a peddler myself, occasionally with my cart. You see it there. Well, come on in.
So,
Hello, peddlers.
As Jennifer's introducing everyone, Darian sort of steps forward and says, "This is the Durst family windmill, isn't it?"
Durst. I don't know no Dursts, but we've the mill has been abandoned for a long time. My family and I repurposed it as a place to live and to eat and to provide for the citizens of this land. We do a service here. I don't know about any property. The Durst family has not come knocking, and no one has told us we have to leave. We are comfortable here.
So as this, he says, "Well," and he pulls out the deed,
Okay.
and he pulls out the longsword, and he says, "Well, that time has finally come. I'm the rightful lord and heir and owner of these lands, and you are producing,
You can't just keep people out. They have a
You're-
hole here.
and
They're
you're
forcing me.
producing commerce on my land without paying tax."
Oh, shit.
May I
He sort
see
of-
your deed?
He quickly burnishes the deed and shows her the longsword.
Okay. May I see your deed, please?
And he sort of shows it to her quickly and puts it back and shows her the longsword.
Okay. Go ahead and make
A deception.
old eyes.
Yeah.
Please, can I see it for a longer time?
Make it. He's
Deception
trying to
check.
deception. Oh, he did well. Sorry, where's my thing? He got a 16 plus. I think he gets at least a 1 more. Deception to 18.
Well, that is quite faded, dear. And I believe I have rights as well, as I have improved the space here as you have left it and neglected it for so long. But perhaps we need not get too caught up in
He's putting a
tax
stern face.
and nonsense. Perhaps just a spot of tea and pleasant chatting, and then perhaps we might, we might, Mother won't be pleased, we might square things away with perhaps the Baron in Vallaki, or perhaps some other law citizen. I sure hope we do not have to get the lord of this land involved, but certainly you, of course, are welcome, as are your companions, the peddlers, and enjoy a good meal. I have other food and things here. Here, let
We
me...
hear you've been doing some nefarious things with your pies. They've been making people sick. And Darian's turning to Irina and says, "You mentioned that it's made more than one person sick."
Yes, well, I have noticed some concerning things. Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. I always... When Mother gets back, I'll have to have a word with her. I told her that the last batch needed to be more well-cooked, and I think maybe they were just underdone.
Can we tell if she's lying?
Yeah.
Make an insight
I
check.
thought she's
You can make an insight check, too.
While she's distracted with Darian, can Mary Lou sneak over to the barrel?
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
this is how we fight.
I mean, you...
If you got a better roll than me, I got a 4.
I did get a better roll.
Okay.
What'd you get?
18 total.
It sounds like she is brushing. She seems like she's telling a lie, or at least she is trying to brush past it.
Oh my god.
What'd you get?
Natural 1.
Okay, so as you're moving towards the hang on, I have one more thing to say to Brandon too in just a second. But as you're moving towards the barrel, you trip over one of the baskets, and a sack kind of scatters, clatters, and some bones fall out of the basket onto the floor. They're small. They could be maybe small animal bones or something like that. It seems like she's kind of stalling when she's talking with you. She says, and you also hear, I'll allow you to make a perception check on top of that, as a thing. But yeah, you don't make it over, like, she's like, oh, honey, please, just stay where you are. Try not to make more mess. I try to keep ahead of it.
I'm so clumsy. I apologize. What type of animals are those from?
Oh, all sorts. Wolves, pups are best. All sorts to work for the meats. Chicken, of course, as you see.
Are we still closest to the door?
You guys have come in to the space, but it's a small space.
Can I peek out the door and see if the ravens are still circling?
If you can't see that from here, it was past the mill, so you'd have to go out and around.
Okay. I don't want to go that far.
So that would be the situation there. I'm gonna go ahead and set up a little map so you guys can see what's going on. But 22. Let's see. You hear some muffled, what you think are muffled cries, like just a draft and creaking wood. This mill is almost as old as I am.
Can I?
Honey dear, you look a little familiar. Perhaps we've met before? Something about the eyes, I think.
Is there anyone standing next to me? Or who's next to me?
Well, I will...
So I'm standing next to you because we're interrogating her, right?
You are interrogating.
Oh, I'm interrogating her.
I'm listening into the show.
I got it.
But
I would probably be.
Mary Lou's wherever the sack of bones is.
I gotta whisper it to someone what I just heard.
Okay. So I'm just gonna... It's a very small... It's not a huge space here.
What do you want to do with that information?
Well, either I tell someone or I say, everyone draw your weapons, get ready.
Okay,
Which option are you going to go with?
See, it depends on who's next to me.
I'm next to you.
He pushes you towards her and says, everyone else run!
Sacrifice you. Yeah, I'll say...
Hang on one sec. While I'm getting everything ready. Well, go ahead, what are you saying?
Guys, I think I hear people down below. And it seems like she's been maybe...
So you heard it from above, just as a clarification.
Above. Sorry, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's stalling for time here. I would prepare yourselves.
Okay.
Now, ready my scythe if anyone comes at me.
Alright, you're drawing a weapon.
We'll
Yeah,
draw our
I
weapons.
think
all
And
this-
we'll attack her. We'll move
But
towards
don't you
her.
want tea? No one ever stays for gossip.
No.
And she lunges out, and as she lunges, her skin peels back, and it's sort of this dark purplish maroon color, and the skin sloughs away from her cheeks, revealing a very sunken, hideous-looking hag woman. Her claws elongating into talons, and she reaches forward. We'll have everyone roll initiative. So go ahead and roll.
I wanted to. I recognize her now.
You do not. She looks familiar, but not the same.
I was hoping to ready in action, but
Yeah.
I didn't pass that part.
She was equally ready for you as you were for her, I would say.
And this was her plan the whole time, so...
As
chance.
Mm-hmm.
Got lots of terrain in here, in this tiny little space. So I'm just getting everything.
Sort of tend to be cluttered.
Oh yeah, clutter space, clutter space.
So let's see here. Got that. Got that. This for that.
I think we beat those moths so quickly.
Hey, how do you feel about eating people?
Can't just say that.
I'm just
We
curious.
all know that she ate people. We don't have to talk about it.
I just want to make sure she's okay. It's kind of my thing as a priest. It's what I do.
Maybe you shouldn't just ask, how do you feel about eating people? Maybe you
Well,
should ask her, how are you doing?
Look,
How's everything?
I
Have
gotta
some tact.
I gotta set the tone, okay? I can't let her dodge.
0 people
I'm-
skills.
Can we have this conversation after I drum axe through this lady's head?
No one asks what the skeletal hag woman is, how she's ever doing, right? No one cares enough to ask.
That's a good point. Maybe this is why she
I,
makes people into burgers.
How are you doing, lady?
Well, I was fine.
Well, maybe you shouldn't cook people then.
You have no proof. No proof. And this man, he came trying to steal my property. Ah!
Technically, this is Durst family property.
I thought you
And
said potpourri. That's even better. It's my potpourri.
this is Durst family property, and like the ghosts of the children might be still there, so I think it's theirs technically.
I think ownership is lost on death.
I mean,
And
but
if
what
there
if you
are
come back as
ghosts-
like, can zombies own property? Can
No.
vampires
No.
can own property? We
he's
know
not
that.
dead. He's not dead.
He's undead.
You guys have very narrow world views if you think that dead people can't still own property.
You and I need to have a conversation at some point, but we'll move past that.
We'll introduce you to the Disney Corporation with this.
Oh, don't
Such evil.
such evil.
Does cryogenically frozen still count?
Yeah.
Define dead.
Okay, so there, blocking the stairway, we've got our hag character here.
Where's the stairway?
Stairway is this. This is
Okay.
the stairway. This little stack here, and then
Okay.
we've got the crate or chest. We've got the oven. We've got the cart. We've got the barrel, and we've got the cabinet.
Okay.
We're mixing the chicken coop because there's just not enough space.
Okay.
But this will work fine. All right.
We'll send. Got ravens, chickens, moths,
A dog.
That's my.
a dog, a puppy.
It's a menagerie.
Indeed.
It's weird being the one who has to be like, no, we're not getting a pet.
Here we go.
And we need to figure out a way to, like, you know, keep them stored, as it were.
Mage hands?
Be like,
Okay.
all
25 to 20.
Fuck me, chance.
Okay. 20 to 15.
18.
Okay.
17 for Jennifer.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. Too many things. All right. Darian at an 18.
Mhm.
17 for Jennifer.
Correct.
15 to 10.
13 for Marilu.
Also 13 for Buddy.
We'll put Klidu ahead because he's right there. And you tripped over the chicken coop.
That's why it's not there. You broke it.
Well, there are chickens everywhere.
He tripped over the bones, actually, the basket.
I like the chicken coop better.
Yeah. She tripped over the bones, but then somehow
Landed
also
in the
opened the
chicken
chicken coop.
Yeah.
There's just chickens.
Chickens everywhere. This is a new tactic. Let's see.
What
She
else
got
do
a
you use
14.
conjure animals for?
Irina got a 14. Klidu got a 13. Mary Lou also got a 13.
Yep.
And Nora? Nora got a 7. Okay, top of the round. Darian, your foe is right within your grasp, and it's clear that she has been squatting on your property. What do you
Ready
do?
to go. So can I? Is there enough room for me to do? Can I go around to make room for others?
Yeah, you can try and push past.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go around and make my attacks with my swords.
Okay, she's kind of trying to block the way, so go ahead and make a strength check first.
Okay.
I'll allow it to without an action because it's not fully
13.
there. Okay, she got 15, so she does block
Okay.
you a little bit from doing that. 'Cause she's
I'll move as far as I
She
can
through the conversation she was kind of maneuvering a little bit, but
to try and block them.
try and block
Okay.
it. But yeah,
And I'll
you
make
get it.
my 2
Did you
attacks.
fall? Did you
Go for it.
fall?
That's a good question. Is Mary Lou prone or
No, you stood back up.
I got 2 non-natural 20s.
Okay, both
I
hit.
assume hit.
Mhm.
That's 9 plus 4. 13.
13 points of damage. So,
He's very angry.
let's see. As you're cutting through, you feel like the damage doesn't quite take hold as much as you.
One of them is
would've
silvered,
liked
if that
it.
matters.
Oh, okay. Which was the silver one?
The first one. The silver's in his main hand.
Okay, which was what? How much did damage?
That was 9.
Okay, so
And
that
the
one
second
does
one
full
was
damage.
4.
And the second one was 4.
Yep.
So 11 points of damage total.
Okay.
So, and then as her shape kind of changes. And she kind of reorients herself being attacked, and sort of her black, almost acidic smelling blood kind of spills onto the floor from your weapons. Anything else on your turn?
No.
It's action, bonus action. Okay. Jennifer, you're up. Irina and Cluedo will be following soon.
Okay. So she hasn't attacked. She hasn't done anything.
Nope.
You can't just attack people. We need to find proof. And I'm gonna go to that cabinet with the flowers on it and open it.
Okay, that's way over here.
Oh shit.
There's the box over here, the thing. There's the barrel in front of you. There's the peddler's cart over here, and then there's the chest or large box.
I'll
down
open
here.
the chest.
Okay. You open it, and it looks like 100 toads are inside. If you leap out, and start splattering around on the floor.
Absolute chaos.
There's like holes. There's like holes in them. Only a few jumped out immediately. It's kind of a deep chest, but only a few. Like there's holes all over the chest and lid for them to breathe. And you hear. So are you gonna quickly shut it, or are you gonna leave it open?
Jennifer, what are you doing?
I'm looking for proof. I'm gonna shut it.
Okay.
She literally bleeds poison. What more do you want?
Doesn't mean she's bad.
Exactly! Listen to her! I was just offering tea!
All right, that's it for your turn. Now it's her turn. She is going to attempt to cast sleep upon all of you.
Oh shit.
Oh, excuse my language.
1, 2,
Ah dang.
3,
Gold darn it.
4.
Gee golly dang.
Does anyone have one extra D8 that I can borrow? Thank you.
How did your Strahd group get a puppy, a killer moth, a chest of toads, some chickens?
Bro, we can take the chest of toads.
All right, so brandishing her talons, she says,
Such distress! Ah, you must be so tired and stressed. Fall asleep. Ah!
all right, the total was 22. So let's get everyone. Who has?
Darian has 22.
Okay. What's your health total?
30.
Okay.
23.
42.
35.
Okay. Darian falls asleep.
But I think, yeah. So Fey ancestry, because he's a half elf,
Okay.
he can't be put to sleep.
Very nice. Yeah.
Nice.
So as she begins to, you guys feel a wave of exhaustion throughout the day's travels, and instead, Irina gets put to sleep. Okay.
Oh,
Not great.
oh. I read a
She was next on the initiative order, so that was it for her turn. Cladu, you're up. Mary Lou on deck.
I'm right next to her, yeah?
What? Oh, the dice. Yes, you are right next to her.
Well, I will take a swing.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Miss.
How do I have more HP than Claire?
Bad rolls. Good rolls.
I rolled really badly.
I think you rolled well too. If I
I
remember.
rolled like a 2 on my
Yeah.
die.
Yikes.
That's what I got too.
Actually, you know what? I have beam inspiration. I'll use it.
Okay, go for it.
Now?
Why
Okay.
not?
I
What else would I was gonna use?
Let it. He can decide. Go for it.
I know, but I can also judge.
Got to be in your little tray there. You can't roll on the couch there, bud.
I was moving it back. I was giving her a look.
Yeah.
That's a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit. She blocks the scythe and knocks it to the side. Kind of gouges some in the brick and wood of the wall.
Do you want to try and make enough room for somebody else to get in? Because this is the stove, right?
It's the oven.
You
The
may
only
want.
way I could move. Can I try and do what Darian tried and move past her? Since I'm still right next to her.
Sure. Go ahead and make a strength check. Tested by hers. She did not roll well.
I rolled strength 11.
She got an 8, so you're able to move past.
Okay, then I will
Oh, sorry, Darian.
Darian did get put to sleep.
kick him in the peg leg.
Jeez. Brutal.
I teach you to call me a no.
All right, that's it for your turn, though, Cluedo?
Yeah.
Okay, Mary Lou, you're up. Nora, you're on deck.
Okay, Mary will move in. She will go into a frenzied rage, and she will hit her with a great axe.
Got it. I like it. Go for it.
Get 'em.
That is an 18 to hit.
18 does hit. Go roll damage.
That is 14 damage.
14.
Dang, dude.
Slashing.
All right. As you strike, your weapon doesn't feel like it's doing as much as you should because it feels like you put a lot of strength behind the attack, and she, but still managed to stay standing. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
I think you make an extra attack as a frenzied rage. As a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, but
Oh, a bonus
into
action
a
to
rage.
go into a rage.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
There's not room for her to be in between the oven and.
Not particularly.
Can she fit there? Just to maybe make a room for another person?
It's not particularly a lot of room, but it's at least open line of
At
sight.
least open line of sight. Yeah.
Okay. That's it for that. Nora, you're up.
Nora.
Can I get at least within line of her? 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't get like right.
Yeah,
up
you can
to
move
her.
past the barrel, which smells
Be there.
really gross, and you can kind of see her like that in the corner.
I'm gonna.
As you glance past the barrel, it looks like it's filled with like a blackish ooze, green ooze.
I'm going to bonus action my searing smite, and then
Okay.
do javelins work with? Are those a melee?
A javelin, if you're throwing it, is a ranged weapon. A javelin can be used as a melee weapon.
Can I come close enough to like javelin with my javelin?
Javelin doesn't give you any extra reach,
Oh.
but you can come close enough, and I'll say you can make an attack roll with disadvantage as you're trying to fit between your friends.
Just attack.
Or do you have
Okay,
do you have a spell that you could use?
old
This
wolf.
is your spell.
This is my spell.
Okay.
Paladins don't have ranged magic.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, Nora?
I'll just do searing smite.
An
with
attack?
My sword. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Did you use this smite before or after yet?
Divine Smite is after, all the other ones are before.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why Divine Smite's
Ooh,
okay.
that's good though.
Okay, so that'll be 18.
With disadvantage?
Her lowest was 18.
Great, yeah, that does hit.
Nice.
So, whoosh. Okay, and then go ahead and what does that do?
Extra d6 fire damage
Mhm.
to the target, and then on a failed save, a Constitution saving throw, they take another d6 fire damage on each turn. that
Okay,
they don't
I got a 20 for my saving throw, so I think she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But she does take the extra damage, so go ahead and roll, and the whole attack is magical. So go ahead and roll, and then add a d6. So roll a d8 and then a d6.
A D8 or a D10?
I'm assuming unless she specifies two hand, I'm assuming one hand.
Oh.
Because
I was-
presumably you're getting the armor of your shield if she attacks
Yeah,
you,
that's true.
unless you've specified
I did
otherwise.
specify.
So specify in the future.
Okay.
D8 for now, and then a d6 for fire.
Um,
How much was the... Separate the damage for me, please.
the sword
Mhm.
was 9 points of damage,
Okay.
and then the fire damage is 3.
Okay. The fire doesn't seem like it hurts her very much.
Okay.
It does some. It singes her and painful. But the sword seems like it did the most.
Okay.
Probably imbued by the holy magic that you were using to channel it. An otherwise mundane sword. All right, top of the round. Darian, you're up. Jennifer on deck. And I will say, you guys like wailed into her and stuff. She's looking pretty healthy and ready to fight. She's mad. So she's like,
Ah! I just wanted some tea and Gus! Is that so much to ask?
Tea and guts?
Tea and Gus! Hot
Guts.
Gus!
I'm sorry, that's so foreign to me. You have to teach me something.
You're fine! Get out!
all right, Darian, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Jennifer on deck.
Trying to read here. So, casting Zephyr's Strike
Mm-hmm.
itself
Mm-hmm.
is an action, and your attack is an action, so you can't do both?
Does it say you can use an attack action?
Oh no, it's a
or
bonus
an
action. Got it. Okay,
I was
okay.
going to say, I'm pretty sure that's a bonus action.
Bonus action. Okay, great. So I will use my bonus action. So Darian notices that she's not taking very much damage,
Mhm.
and he's going to
focus his energy and focus it on the ring,
Mhm.
and you're gonna see for a second like spectral wings behind him, and he's gonna use his Argonvast family ring
Okay.
to summon his little dragon,
Okay.
and the spectral dragon is gonna appear next to him.
Dragon spirit appears. Okay.
And so that'll be his bonus action to use the ring.
So you don't know the name of the family.
Okay, sorry. And he will he'll do his attack and he'll bonus action for the dragon.
Okay.
So
So
his attack, 9,
does not hit.
not hit, and then the dragon attack is a 18.
18 does hit. So blooming from the as you brandish the ring, like a cold silvery blue light blooms in the room, and it creates this mist. Unlike the mist in Barovia, it seems to shine and shimmer, bring light, and it coalesces into the shape of a small dragon creature, and it rakes at the creature. Go ahead, at the monstrous lady before you. Go and roll damage.
6.
So it's like non-corporeal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's ETHE real, as Joe used to say.
Freaking do.
All right, does that hit? That's it for your turn.
Yes,
Well,
that's
you know,
okay too.
the first part of ethereal.
Ethereal.
Is real at the end. Because he's that kind of a guy.
And she's like,
Spirits and monsters. Ah! My house. This is my house. Get out with your taxes.
all right, Jennifer, you're up.
This is her house. Are there any stand your ground
It's
laws
not
in-
her house.
In Barovia? We're at fault here.
Claudiu's on deck. Jennifer, you're up.
Yeah, I think we're at fault here. I think I'm going to try to find something to justify our actions. I'm going to open up the barrel.
Okay. Barrel's already open topped.
Oh.
This was why it was so smelly.
Okay.
So you peer into it and you see like a viscous greenish black ooze, and it's very acrid smelling. You could use Mage Hand to try and
That's
open the
what I was
cabinet
gonna say.
far away if you'd like to.
Oh, that's a great idea. I wasn't going to think about that. I will do that.
Okay.
I do
so-
so for giving me ideas.
You open it.
The battle's going on and you're just
yeah.
opening cabinets.
It looks like there's bowls full of herbs and baking ingredients, flour, sugar, and several gourds of a fine white powder you don't recognize, but the flour and sugar are like labeled. Hanging on the inside of the cabinet doors are a dozen locks of hair, just like hanging down. You also see labeled containers. Kind of hard to see, like dodging through. You're just like, I just want to find proof, guys. But there you see elixirs, and 3 of them are labeled: youth, laughter, and mother's milk. And that's basically what you see.
I don't think this is incriminating evidence yet.
All right, that's it for your turn.
How much more? It's Daring yells back. How much more evidence do you want?
A corpse? I don't know. Habeas corpus.
They bought a skeletal horseman for less.
All right, she's gonna attack Darian
Okay.
with her
Problem
claws.
with that.
That's a 22 to hit.
Very low, but she's.
So that's going to hit. Let me see 1 second. If I use my thing here. It's +5, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right, 20. That hits.
Yeah.
All right, that is going to be 16 points of slashing damage.
Holy cow.
So raking into you with her talons, she tears into you and kind of pulls apart some of your armor and your skin below.
Okay.
All right, that's it for her turn. She can't really try and position much better, but what she'll do is back up and try and push past to get back to the stairs. So she's going to try and do that. So she's going to make a strength check against Darian. Against Claudiu, because it's primarily who is in the way. Go ahead and roll.
13.
She got a 13 as well. I'm going to say she gets tie-breaking round.
Really? She's got to go past Darian, the dragon, and Claudiu?
It's her home. And she's also, what's your strength value?
18.
Okay, hers is also 18. We'll roll again.
Okay, here
Okay,
we go.
good
Round
luck.
2.
Don't you wish you had that DM's inspiration?
Wow. Wow. That's
I
some
would've
guilt.
failed it
All right,
anyway,
let's see it.
So. That one.
Okay. This time, she struggles for a moment, then pushes past. This is my home. So this doesn't actually occupy space. Darian doesn't get an attack of opportunity because you're still in threat range. But Nora and Mary Lou both get attacks of opportunity.
Woo!
So go ahead and do
That's
that.
her Great axe out.
Okay.
You're still frenzied.
Yeah. 13.
13 does not hit.
That's a 19.
19 does hit. Go and roll damage.
Okay.
D8.
I already rolled it.
Okay.
Is your spell still active?
Goes away immediately. 4? Non-magical, right? Sarah? Non-magical?
Not magical.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't see. Did you shake
I
your head?
shook my
Oh,
head no.
sorry, I didn't see.
Sorry.
Okay, so as she's pushing past, sort of, you slash at her. She's like, this is a combat-capable creature, whatever she is, and is like knocking past the axe, pushing past the dwarf, and sort of dodging the worst of your attack, and repositioning herself at the top of the stairs.
My home, mine!
All right, that's it for her turn. Cladu, you're up. Mary Lou, you're on deck.
So she's at the
Nowhere
top
to
of the
follow.
stairs? Is that like...
It's spiraling up. It's spiraling up.
Okay.
This is a round space, but I don't have perfectly round tiles that I've made, so square to emulate, but it's a round spiral staircase that heads upward.
If I wanted to push
Yeah.
past her and block her again,
I would say at this stage it's more like an action because it's over, Anakin. She has the high ground, but also because it's a narrower space now that you're pushing past. This isn't a 10-foot, as again limited by my materials, but it's a 5-foot wide staircase. So you're having to push past like a space she's occupying. So I'd say that's an action rather than jostling for heavy furniture 10-foot wide.
okay. Then yeah, I think I'll still try and push past her.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead and make a strength check.
Caught in there. That'll be
Yeah, and try and hold the doorway.
yeah. I can't roll. That's a 9.
A 9. She got a natural 19, so this time she shoves you down to the floor. You kind of stumble for a second, but manage to keep your footing.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon behind her.
Okay.
Good thought.
Good thought. Good thought.
And I will...
Do you have another thing that we can put?
A circle is the classic spiritual weapon.
There you go.
And I will attack with that.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Hang on, I have a better spiritual weapon.
It's fine. I can't roll above a 10.
Here you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
Better spiritual weapon token. Magic effect. Pff, eat your heart out. I have a real sword.
Is the stairway actually 2 spaces wide?
No, it's not. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Okay.
Wouldn't why he had to roll for an action. What was the attack roll?
15.
15 does not hit. So a scythe again appears, matching the one that he wields, and strikes. But again, she's ducking and weaving and kind of maneuvering her talons to parry the worst of all of the attacks, finding no purchase here. All right, that's it for your turn. Moving on, Mary Lou, then Nora on deck, with Darian to follow.
Is there any way possible for Mary Lou to get an angle where she could throw a weapon?
She's got a little bit of height, and you are significantly taller than Cladu, who's in front of you. So I'll say you can make that shot.
Cool. She will throw her hatchet and her hand axe.
Okay.
Question.
Can you throw 2 weapons attacking?
Well, 2 attack, or that would be melee attacks. Never mind. So I will just throw. She will just throw her hatchet.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. You got this.
Got this. That's a 25.
Oh yeah, you do got this.
I
That
do
definitely
got
hits.
this.
Go ahead and roll damage.
7 damage, and that is magical.
Alrighty. And like an extra bit of like blood kind of spurts out where it lands and latches into her. And
Good shot, though.
Thank you.
all right, that's it for your turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nora, you're up. Darian, you're on deck.
I'm gonna
Jennifer to follow.
bonus action and snaring strike and go straight in to like pierce her through the heart if I can.
Okay. There's not a lot of space, so you can. It's kind of hard for you to do that because Darian and Cladu are occupying the
Right
spaces
there,
right there.
yeah.
The ghost dragon does not take any space, so your best bet is probably if you want to do damage to throw a javelin. If you want to do ensnaring strike or something like that, you're gonna have to do what Cladu did and try and push past her with an action.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and cast.
Amidst the ruckus, you're hearing more like coming from up above, up the spiral staircase.
Annabelle, do you hear that?
I can't say what it
I'm
is.
gonna go ahead and cast Bless.
It's just the wind.
I'm gonna cast Blessed on Darian Cladu and then on Mary Lou.
Great. All right. Darian, Claddu, and Mary Lou are all blessed.
Wow, that is
So you guys get an extra D4 for either
For both attack rolls and saving
saving
throws.
throws. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. So
That doesn't affect armor save though. Just
no attack rolls and saving throws.
That would be
Perfect.
nuts.
That'd be
It's
nice.
already good enough.
It's already
Yeah.
a really good level 1 spell to get 3 people off one slot.
Yeah.
So brandishing your holy symbol, sort of a. You guys in your mind's vision quickly see like a sunlit meadow filled with wildflowers, and you imagine what it might be like to bring flowers here to Barovia. And emboldened by that thought, you're ready to rid the land of this creature. All right, that's it for Nora's turn. Darian, you're up. Jennifer to follow.
So let me just put this here. So the wormling, the spectral dragon, is going to go up the stairs because you said it's
Yeah.
non-thing, so it's going to move sort of in this direction.
Yep.
So I'm just going to move it.
Okay.
And to be behind her, to sort of walk her, and he'll move in fully into the space and make his attacks.
Okay, go for it.
So first one, I assume it's going to hit. You get 23,
Yep, that does it.
and the second one, may not hit. 8, 13.
13 does not hit.
So
So the dragon misses.
The big no, that was
It's a bonus action to command the dragon to attack.
okay. Then I need to, because the dragon doesn't get the thing, then it's gonna miss.
Okay, so you hit with
I
your
hit,
with your
yeah.
silvered weapon.
I hit for 10 points.
10 points of damage. Wow, nice strike.
Nice.
All right, emboldened by the blessing, she focuses her time to like dodge away from the spiritual thing, and she seems like she's able to bat it and actually like reach into the spiritual plane there with that. But as she's distracted, you cleave through with your silvered weapon and definitely land a
Got
telling
some
blow.
damage. Yep.
Is that a long sword?
Short sword.
Okay, great.
Silvered short sword.
Sounds good. All right, Jennifer, you're up.
So
Claddu on deck.
Jennifer did hear the what sounds to be like, please for help.
What's your perception check?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your passive perception?
I think it's
10 plus your perception modifier.
10 plus my perception modifier. It would be 11.
Okay, yeah, you did hear it.
Okay.
There was only 8. I'm sorry. I rolled.
Thank you.
Added up too many points.
Okay. All right. I will cast Chill Touch
Okay,
and try
go
to
and make an attack roll.
Yeah, I should be able to. That is, oh gosh, that's a 12.
12 does not hit, so the shrieking shadow hand shoots out towards it, but she's like,
Oh, some magic. My turn.
Okay, then I will. Okay, that was definitely like a prisoner or something. We can kill her now.
Thanks.
I thought you guys were waiting for my
can
permission.
I have one more D8 there, please?
I'm going to give you this one. You can just keep.
There you go. Thank you. Great. She's going to cast Sleep again on all of you. Alrighty.
Someone probably should have slapped awake our girl in the back.
So this time the total is 31. We're excluding Darian because he's immune. So anyone has 31 health or less?
I've got 30.
Okay, you fall asleep.
I think I would be asleep first since I have 23.
Yes, you would.
Oh, okay.
It goes
Yeah,
from
lowest
lowest
health to highest it does. I didn't know you were low enough.
That's my max health.
So you fall
So,
as she kind of breathes like a kind of gaseous, like noxious purplish fume over you, and you feel unbelievably tired, and you're just like, well, I'd rather a kip, and just fall down. All right, that's it for her turn. Your spiritual weapon goes away because your concentration's broken.
it's not concentration.
Okay, spiritual weapon right.
Spiritual weapon's still there.
You can't command it to attack though, so
No,
that's out. So that's it for your turn. Claddu was next. Mary Lou, you're up. In your
Okay.
frenzied rage.
My frenzied rage.
And now I would say you can occupy his space by standing on
Okay.
him
Over
his
him.
limbs. Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
boulder, so good luck. But
I mean, so she. She'll just sort of,
I don't think that makes it any better.
Yeah.
she'll sort of just look down at him and just be like, what? And since her hatchet is still in the hag, she'll pull out her great axe and go for 2 strikes.
Go for it.
Yeah.
That is 16.
16 does not hit.
Okay. Second one.
Be-
Less.
All right.
Oh wait,
Still-
Oh, you're
less.
You're still blessed. Yeah.
Uh,
D4.
Is that for the first
17.
one?
17 does hit. That's what it
Woo.
implies.
Does what
So you
Whenever-
got a bless
whenever-
for the both attacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
So
and
roll
then
again for the second one.
Second one is 10.
Yeah, does not hit.
Yeah.
So just the one. D12.
D12.
Oh!
16. 18.
18. Again,
And
reduced
then
to half, but still, with a big telling blow, you kind of strike and like hit the back half of the hatchet and dig it, like bury it deeper into the hag. All right, and like spittle's like flying from your mouth as you're like swinging wildly. All right, that's it for your turn. Nora, you're up. Darian's on deck.
I still can't make it to her.
Not without pushing past. You can make an attempt to push
I'm gonna
past.
try and wake up Invicta.
Wow.
Invicta, it's Irina.
Irina.
Similar accent though. Yeah, you can use an action to just shake her awake. You're like, Irina, wake up. And she, what? Oh, okay. And
Invicta would be very helpful right now.
yeah, good 6th, 7th level cleric.
Sorry.
No worries. But yeah, you shake her awake and she wakes up. Oh my goodness! And she draws her rapier. All right, that's it for your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Way to be a team player. Darian, you're up. Jennifer on deck.
He's gonna do the same thing he did the last couple rounds.
Okay.
First
Attack.
one, and the bless is still up.
Yep. Still D4.
4, 13, 18.
18 hits. Man, that bless
Thank
made
you
the
for
difference.
That plus 4 helped.
It's a good spell.
And D6. 5 points.
Okay, and that's the silvered, right?
That's the silvered.
Okay, so again, sort of your sort of a silvery green light that matches the color of her eyes perfectly, like hones the blade and cuts through her.
Perfect. Teamwork. Ooh, and the dragon's gonna hit 19, 23.
Yep, that hits. Go roll damage.
And D8.
Sensing weakness, the dragon capitalizes while the hag is reeling from the first strike.
9 points.
9 points, and that's definitely magical damage.
I just wanted to attack her once.
She's starting to look hurt. She's starting to show some signs of wear.
Okay.
As the dragon buries its mouth and claws into the back of her neck, she shrugs it off. All right, Jennifer, you're up. You're asleep. No, you're not. Cladu's asleep. Sorry, my bad.
My mage hand should still be up. I'm gonna smack Clody with it. Try to wake him up.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. So you get in like a whoosh, with like a swoop. Yeah, like a swoop. Yeah, it's a skeletal hand.
You gotta give him 1 point of damage for that, please.
No, get out of here! I have low enough health.
I don't think I don't think
But,
it can
but
do
it's a skeletal hand, but it smells vaguely of perfume.
What the hell is that?
All right, so that's it for Jennifer's turn.
I look at Irina and be like, she's bad. Confirmed.
Well, I thank goodness for that.
You're welcome.
And then it's the hag's turn with you to follow there, Cladu. She's gonna go for her talons again at Darian.
Damn.
Oh, they're not gonna hit this time with a 13.
Nope.
13. Rakes at you, but you parry with the blades. All right, that's it for her turn. And then next up is
Cladu?
Cladu. Yes, thank you. With Mary Lou to follow.
Alright, boys. We're standing up for this roll.
Okay, Cladu, finish her off. Finish
Yes,
her
yeah,
off.
we're going a little longer till this is
Yeah,
done.
I think
It's
we're
9:02.
We'll end
finish
it
up,
right
I
here.
assume.
Yeah, we'll finish right after this.
Or not. Okay, so the scythe is going to miss with a natural 3.
Okay,
And I'm going to swing with the weapon.
spiritual scythe, got it.
Now, go for the next one.
I'm so jazzed. I have my little sword
It looks
model.
good.
That's
It's
great.
great.
15! I
15
can't
does
roll
not
over
hit.
10.
You added 4 to attack?
Your first attack, I won't.
Oh,
I'll say that you're not blessing the weapon.
No.
So
It's a melee spell attack.
okay, I'll allow it. Go ahead. I mean, rules as written. That's I would say that.
It's not
You're able to
separate.
hone it a little more carefully.
Yeah.
16.
16 does not hit,
No.
unfortunately. Still managing to hold
my
up there.
God.
Alright. So Mary Lou next.
It is Mary Lou. It's Nora on deck. Darian to the follow. Yeah, you're a little sleepy, and the scythe like buries into the window there.
So how's it going? Because we were occupying the same space.
You've backed up now, so you'd have to push through to attack.
Because I attacked, so I was right
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Don't forget your weapon is range. You can back up and still attack.
How can I attack over someone?
She's on stairs.
I still have to attack over people who are taller than me.
Yeah.
Is there any way possible to push in?
You can push, but it's an action to push past the hag now at this point. You
She.
can throw your other axe if you
Yeah,
want to.
she'll throw her hand axe.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack roll.
That is a 24.
That hits. Great, rolling. Go ahead and roll damage.
Let's see. 4. 8, and this is non-magical.
Okay, so down to 4. Huh? So another axe joins the other one almost in a crisscrossed fashion.
Ah! Darn accurate throwers.
How hurt is Darian looking?
He's at 6 health. He's pretty hurt.
Okay.
He's looking pretty hurt.
Got it.
That was very loose.
It's Nora's turn. Darian on deck, and Jennifer to follow.
I'm gonna. Do I have a line of sight of her?
You can if you move over a little bit.
Can I throw one of my javelins?
Sure. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
That is a 24.
24. That hits. Roll damage.
We're the throwing weapon team now.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
9 points of damage. Okay, non-magical, so halved down to 4. So, joining the 2 axes embedded in her is a javelin that hits her like around the rib. So she's like
She's got a dragon.
encumbered by a whole bunch of this stuff, like
Does it
riding on her. The dragon's not on top of
A
her.
dragon
still.
on the back of her neck, 2 axes in there, and a javelin.
Yeah. Okay, Darian, you're up.
Alright, Darian, come on.
Unless you want to do anything else in your turn.
Darian's gonna hit for sure. 28?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
Darian.
Not the d20 for damage.
Yeah.
That's a beefy sword.
8. 8 points of damage, magical.
8 points of damage. Okay.
And then the dragon. Oh, nat 1.
Aww.
That does not hit.
Oh.
Okay.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
All right, Jennifer, you're up.
Oh, my turn already. I'm
Yep.
going to try to use Chill Touch.
Claudia is the next character to act. Go ahead and roll an attack roll for Chill Touch.
That would be a 17.
17 just hits. Go and roll damage.
Sweet. It is 1d8. 1.
Aw,
Oh.
You go 1?
that's cute.
Yeah, so it's 1 damage.
So a shadowy hand leaps out, and it sort of clings to her and buries its claws in her breast, and she's sort of, but otherwise doesn't seem to hurt her, but obviously not a ton of damage. And as you do that and sort of lament the low impact, you hear a whispering voice behind your left ear, which says, "I can show you how to hit harder. You can end this one's fate. It's her time."
I'm assuming none of us heard it.
None of you hear it.
And do I see, can I look and see if there's...
You don't see anything aside from the people around you.
Okay. Like right now, we can do that?
Well,
Is there a timetable on this offer?
Or is this like maybe next time?
maybe next time. I'll show you.
Okay.
Use both eyes.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right. Next is the hag's turn. It's gonna try and tear into Darian. Oof. 15 to hit.
No, 16.
Man, not rolling very well. I gotta put that dice in jail. Unfortunately, I mean, with the 2 axes and,
the javelin, and the
embedded in her,
dragon,
she's-
and the weapon.
Why couldn't we just have tea?
All right, that's it for her turn. So, Cladu, you're up. Mary Lou on deck.
Alright, let's
Nora to
try
follow.
this stupid thing.
Wait, did I get skipped?
Darian, you went. You attacked and did a
just-
bunch of damage,
okay,
and then we did
okay,
Jennifer.
fine.
And
Nice.
Cladu, go.
I'm trying. I'm rolling. I'm giving it some time.
Come on, finish it, Cludy, finish it.
Bless.
Doesn't matter. Natural 1. So then I'll attack with the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Wow, you...
I
You
can't
can't-
You
roll.
need some new dice there, bud.
It's been good
Someone needs
before.
to pull them out.
Oh my god. Again, another 9. So it comes out to... Okay, okay. The D4.
You can do it.
15.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
15. Come on, more than a 1. It's a 1.
Oh.
Oh.
Seeing it coming, she carries away the weapon and sort of with a sneer. All right, that's it for Cladu. You've got like spinning scythe blades going everywhere. This is a bit of a hectic fight here. Mary Lou, you're up.
Okay, she can't really get in. She'll look at Nora, look at the javelin, pull out her own javelin and throw it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Attack roll.
Bless.
That bless is coming in
Yeah.
heavy.
20, non-natural.
That hits. Go on damage. So many attacks would have missed without the bless.
Yeah.
9 piercing, non-magical.
Okay.
So 4.
Another javelin next to the other. She's slow and weaving, and you can see she like that black, like oily blood is spilling from her quite frequently. She's looking quite hurt. All right, that's it for Mary Lou's turn. Nora, you're up. Darian on deck.
Javelin number 2.
Okay, there we go.
Jennifer is after Darian.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Pincushion.
Oh. I got
I
a
think that was gonna
9.
A 9, unfortunately, it buries itself in the
wall.
stair in the wall, like where that meets.
I have a DM question.
Uh-huh.
Do
Sorry.
things concerning my oath count against spell level slots? I tried looking it up and it's not specific.
Things concerning your oath. In what way?
I have 2 spells.
I believe that those spells still count as slots when you cast them.
Okay.
What it does is it gives you those
It's always
access to
prepared.
those spells, and you always have them prepared. Whereas you wouldn't normally have access to them, and you wouldn't always have them prepared.
Okay.
Okay, good question. Darian, you're up. Jennifer on deck.
All right, let's finish it. Ooh. Even if I go 4, it's not gonna matter. Yeah, 13.
13 does not hit.
Okay, and dragon. Finish off with the dragon. Let's. Oh,
Dragon doesn't get the plus.
doesn't get the blast. Nope, both missed.
Okay. This time, ready for it.
Didn't quite get it.
Dodging, and you're still learning to kind of align with your partner there and make sure
We
that
rolled
you
the same
time
roll
out.
exactly.
Yeah,
so
you're in tune.
clearly-
There you go. All right, Jennifer, your turn. Go ahead and make. So she said, "Now is the time. Let's end her fate."
Come on, Jennifer. Come on, Jennifer.
Use
Are you
both
like?
actions.
Responding?
Okay.
Okay, make a charisma check.
Ooh, I mean, charisma's pretty high. Where's my character sheet? Sorry. A charisma check, that would be a 16.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to use Chill Touch.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Rolled my spell attack.
Attack roll with advantage. And this time you see the figure, but you see it through your covered eye. You see it through your mask, and you see her outlined as a weakening shape, and the shadows coalescing around her, almost like, and you see like threads of fate being snipped away as you're looking at her.
So fucking cool. That's 23.
That hits. Go and roll damage.
3.
3 points of damage. All right. She's still standing, but very hurt, roughed up by the further attack, and the claw goes straight into her eye and tears it out. And it like physically rips it out. There. I showed you, didn't I?
And I'm going to turn and look at Irina.
And she's like, I forgot to go last round. She was recovering from her drowsiness.
I'm just gonna like look at her.
Yeah, it wasn't her voice at all.
I feel like Jennifer would think that it was
Okay,
her.
yeah. She's like, yes, good shot. Let us kill her.
And she'll just.
All right, that's it for Jennifer. Then it's the hag's turn. Again, gonna go for Darian.
Okay.
They have to down him at this point.
All right, I might actually hit you for 20.
It hits. I'm going to use shield to go to 21.
Nice. So as she like, you build up a rampart.
You see dragon
Okay,
wings.
very nice.
So you're
I
going
like
to
it,
see
even
dragon
better.
wings cover him.
All right, and the wings sort of push back and pull her away. All right, nicely done there. Next up is let's see. After
Cladu, right?
that is Cladu. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I can't read my own things. Cladu, then
Come on,
Mary will follow.
Come on,
Ninth
Cladu.
attack.
Finish it.
You can do it.
I missed 8 in a row. Okay, that one should hit with a 21.
21 hits.
There we go.
Go and roll damage.
Actually, I'm going to channel because I'm mad.
Okay, so this does an extra automatic how much?
11.
11 necrotic?
Yes.
Okay.
Finishes, he's dead.
Yeah, this is probably overkill. So that's going to be 12 slashing and 11 necrotic.
All right. The blade of your scythe goes dark with a black shadow, but the leading edge of it is a silver white line of just pure destruction as you carve straight through and up. See, like ripping open all of the weapon wounds that you've already seen, and the whole body just like splits in two with like a wash of silver fire, and then like the ruined bits collapse to the part, and she goes down. Very nice.
That's much better.
As she's defeated, you continue to hear.
She's coming.
We got to run upstairs.
All right, and with that, that is where we end for tonight.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for those of you who tuned in and for watching with us here. We'll be back hopefully next Sunday. That's the plan anyway, to continue seeing what happens in the mill. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and you can find us on like Twitter and Facebook, 20-Sided Stories. And yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.